Hello and welcome to the Inbetween podcast. I'm usual host Joe Scott. I'm joined by Tony Tanzadu. Tony, why am I
Tongue-tied.
tongue-tied? We're back with some Lego. Why am I looking at Lego at the moment?
Why look at Lego? I bought another piece of Lego. I bought the corner garage or garage. Do you want to
Right,
call it? I'll call it garage.
sure, why not?
Um, but yeah, this is all the sets I have. So far anyway. There's
Hmm.
one more pending, but we have to wait until Christmas for that one. So we're a ways away on that one.
Oh, I
I've
I did some Lego as well. I got a spaceship as well. I
got
actually
a
I actually built some
Lego
Lego.
City
Yeah.
spaceship.
But
Yeah.
anyway, so this was the pirate ship that we talked about in a tangerine, right?
Yeah, that's in the back. That's the pirate ship from the the Lego News Tangerine episode.
The Lego
I can't.
news.
I
I
don't
think it
remember
was
what Tangerine it was anymore.
Firewatch.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, okay.
Yep.
I mean, nothing else was going on, so that's fine. Yeah, and the back left, so you can see the medieval blacksmith. That's also nothing to do with the Lego City. So, but yeah, you see the one on the right though. I don't think I was. I'm not sure I sent that image
The
before
one
or
with the
not. But
blue
that's the
roof.
yeah.
Yep.
That's the Parisian restaurant. That's not sold by Lego anymore, so I have to buy that off eBay. That's when I was
Oh,
like missing parts.
you were telling me that you've got such an addiction to Lego cities that you've
Yeah.
started buying sets that are out of production so you can finish your
Well, only
collection.
the ones I like. I wasn't gonna buy like all of them. I just wanted like I really wanted that one, and I want the diner. They don't do that one anymore either.
Hmm.
And I think my sister wanted like the theater as well, but I'm not sure. I have to see how expensive it is. I think because they get quite expensive when Lego doesn't make it. Not it's not really scalpers at that point. It's more like collectors, I guess. But it's a bit annoying.
Hmm.
Like they're not even. I think like they're made in 2014, so they're not that old, really. But I guess at some point you got to shut down the manufacturing of it. So
Yeah, can't make
it's
all the
just a bit
Legos in the
annoying.
world. Wait, so what are you doing about the missing part? Obviously, you got it second hand. So can you still
There
write
wasn't.
into
The,
Lego and ask for a missing part?
no. But the pieces I'm missing weren't that major, and they would have been in other sets I could have write in. So if, with the ones they make and you bought recently, you can still like say I'm missing parts. So I could do that. But I wasn't missing like really big parts, so it wasn't really a major issue in the
Hmm.
end.
It's pretty good. I was immediately like, oh, cool, lots of Lego, but I just saw the desk. I was like, what the hell is this
Oh yeah,
desk?
yeah, I guess I should. Yeah, so those are like sleeper rails from like an old railway. So it's like a like repurposed wood, I guess you could say. And it's got and all the legs are wheels. Like you can see like one big wheel, and then there's like two
Yeah.
smaller ones on the shorter ends. Yeah, it's
Okay.
it's 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 very odd, coffee table. I give you that.
Can you are the wheels locked, or can you move it around on
No, they
wheels?
move. They
No.
they they it moves quite a bit.
Can you? But can if you want it to not move, can it not move?
It doesn't really. Well, the wheels on the side are like the wrong direction, so that kind of stops it. But like it like just like pivots like a little bit from left to right.
Okay.
It's stable. It's just like it's not like super sturdy or anything.
Hmm.
Like people put their drinks on it and stuff, so it's not that bad. It's just not flat though, which is my problem with like building Lego on it. Like it's super bumpy. So it's
Yeah.
like it's actual reclaimed wood. It's not like pretending to be it. I don't think.
A man,
Unless it is, and then it's just really well made, I guess.
a man has fallen for Lego in Lego City.
Yeah, this is kind of an image just like showing up like I've got like this is the image like showing I've got the problem. Like
Hmm.
yeah, I've got a Lego problem,
This
guys.
is this is like a picture of a hoarder's room sort of thing.
My next step I think is to build a PC case out of Lego.
Wait, that would be interesting though.
That would be interesting. I was thinking about that the other day.
I wonder what kind of thermals it would get, because like,
Yeah, you'd have to like design like for it to hold the fans and like and stuff, right? And like the radiator for the
well,
AIO.
I feel like a lot of the 3D printing stuff you do with like case stuff, you could probably just make out of Lego. Has
Yeah.
anyone made a Lego P? I'm gonna look this up. Lego PC case.
Probably, but yeah, I don't know. I've never seen one. I've never seen. I've seen people
Wait,
try to
somebody
3D print
Lego
cases.
Lego Ideas modular computer case.
Right, here it is. Let's look it
Guys,
up.
we've got 63 supporters on Lego Ideas. We need them to make a Lego modular
We need
PC.
them. We need 10,000 supporters though, so we need more people to upvote to it.
Somebody said, I started to build a custom Lego computer, so I started looking up other cases made out of Lego bricks, but either were a hodgepodge of various spare pieces or were only a small form factor case. Therefore, I decided to design my own.
Right. Okay.
It's a it's
Interesting.
a it's a real case. The case is capable of housing micro, mini, standard, and extended ATX motherboards, 3 drive bays, and 4 internal hard drives.
Okay.
Wow.
Interesting.
Hmm. So
Maybe one day when I've got.
we
I feel that's gonna be super expensive.
we need the Lego PC. We need the Lego PC.
Yeah. Lego PC. Here we come.
Should we go
Better
on
than the Minecraft PC. Yeah, let's go on. Let's go on with the
the
what
one now?
trailers first, I guess.
Trailers is always number one. Yeah. There's the
As
rocket way built.
always.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. How long did it take you to build though? I don't think I ever asked that.
There was more to it. I think there was like 7 or 8 books that I had to go because there's like a research station. There's like a
Yeah.
rail cart thing that it goes on. When it has like a landing gear thing where when it goes up, the landing gear like goes out to the side, sort of thing.
Yeah. That makes
I
sense.
can't believe this wasn't in the top 10 Lego sets of 2020. I mean, I don't
There's
even
some
know.
pretty good ones from 2020 though. To be fair,
Did you say
so
I was talking to my friends on Discord. I was saying like I just love reading the YouTube comments on things where it's just like a top 10 list
yeah.
or like old footage of sport and just reading the comments of people going, well, actually, I can't believe it on this list. You didn't mention the 501 Battalion Lego set that came out in 2020. How could you dare miss that set? That was the best Lego set of 2020. You dare not have the quiz on your list?
That's how they speak as well. Like, that's how I imagine them.
Or it's just like you look at like old Formula One footage, like they don't do races like this anymore. The engine's glowing. Oh my god, this was the golden era of Formula One.
Yeah, nostalgia goggles.
Anyway, let's move on. First up, we have a trailer for the Trashed FPS update. So originally, Trashed was basically a top-down game where it was the best way to describe it is Trash a Factory.
Yeah.
You had to like build machines to get rid of waste that was being dropped from the sky, and then basically the idea was you're just constantly getting trash thrown at you, and you would need to burn all this trash in order to pay for new machines to get rid of the trash, and you would build like a big trash factory. You could get attacked by monsters everywhere. The game looks heavily early access, so
So it's only 10% complete right now.
yeah, it looks heavily early access, so enter at your own risk, sort of thing. But I just thought,
Yeah.
I feel like I've talked about this game with you off the podcast at some point, and I was like, this game looks kind
Yeah.
of interesting. And then, because we have so many conversations on the podcast, I cannot for the life of me remember what conversations we had
Yeah, it's hard to
on
keep track.
podcast and off podcast, sort of thing. But
Yeah.
I think the dev posted this on Reddit, and he was like saying basically he had to redesign because it was originally top down. He had to redesign the entire game to be played from a first person perspective, sort of thing. But
Why did you do it then? Like just get more
I think more
customers.
people wanted to play it in first person. I guess.
Right, okay. Fair enough.
Mm. People are saying
It's a
that it's
lot of
got a lot.
work.
People are saying it's got a lot of potential. Some people are saying they. One person's comparing it to Dyson Sphere program, but I don't
Fair
know
enough.
about that.
Not
But
quite the same, but okay.
yeah, I just thought because I don't think many people have seen this game, and it seems like the dev just spent a lot of time completely changing the game from the ground to be an FPS, and I do think it looks like an interesting game. So maybe wait on this one, see where it goes in early access, and then maybe we'll come back to it, sort of thing. I just thought it'd be interesting to mention.
Yeah.
Next up we
I mean,
have
that's
oh,
pretty good.
next up we have No Man's Sky Mass Effect crossover. Have you seen this, Tony?
I've seen a little bit of it. I'm not so properly. I don't really understand. I'm gonna be honest.
Okay, so basically, we talked about how No Man's Sky added the expedition system.
Yeah.
So basically, what happens is the current expedition, which is like the season or the battle pass or whatever, is if you complete the current expedition, you can unlock the SSV Normandy SR1, which will serve as a deployable frigate in your player's freighter fleet.
Right. Okay.
As part of like the Mass Effect remaster coming out, um, you can get this permanently sort of thing, only until the thing ends sort of thing.
Yeah.
Hmm. So I think it's like a timed event, but it's just like I'm going to talk about some other interesting crossovers, but like No Man's Sky, um, Mass Effect crossover seems a bit like I don't know, kind of out of the blue sort of thing.
Yeah. So that's why I don't really get. I get that they're both like in space, but one's an RPG and one's a survival game.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a bit odd.
Yeah, BTTV is like a
And
third
I
party
did.
thing, and
I guess it's nice, but did Mass Effect really need like more advertising? I don't know. It seems just a bit odd. Maybe Sean Murray just loves Mass Effect. It's like he like called up EA and was like, "Can we add it to the game, please?"
hmm.
And they're like, "Sure, why not?"
Well, because
I like to believe that's how it went down.
it seems like they're trying to get advertising to say, "Hey, the remasters back out now," sort of thing. Because like
If
when
everyone knows about it,
yeah, but I don't know if everyone knows about like a remaster because I think it can be hard to advertise a game that's already come out and like it's kind of
in
coming out
okay,
again.
that's fine. But in the space that I look at, that right, like loves Mass Effect, like it was really big. Like everyone knew that
Yeah, but
the
it
his remaster was coming out.
obviously, but I think the people who already love Mass Effect are going to know that it's coming out. But this is more
Yeah,
for
but
the
aren't
people.
those the people who are gonna buy the remaster though?
Yeah, and they're already going to buy the remaster.
Yeah.
But I think this is more for people who are like that. Obviously, if you're a fan of No Man's Sky, you may be a fan of sci-fi.
Yeah, I just think you'd like No Man's Sky, you already know about Mass Effect. I don't know. Seems like weird.
I don't know.
Seems weird.
Cool. Also. Anyway, moving on. We got a trailer for Lost Judgment. So it's Lost Judgment. If you don't know, is a spin-off of the Yakuza series. It's
Oh,
coming
it's this thing. Yes.
September 24th, 2021. The original Lost Judgment game that's a spin-off from Yakuza is also not available on PC because they
Oh,
did another
right.
spin-off game. Because this game is coming to PlayStation, Xbox, and Stadia. So on
Okay.
if you want to play this on PC, you've got to play it through Stadia. So yeah, there's that, I
Stadia
guess.
exclusive.
Because people were saying that they think the first game may have been locked into a weird contract where they couldn't do a PC port of it. This game may be in some sort of Stadia exclusivity, so that's why there's no PC port of it, whereas all the other Yakuza games have PC ports of them, pretty much, I think. But this is releasing September 24th, 2021. Um, so some interesting things about the release of this to do with the whole Yakuza and maybe Sega's Japanese games division sort of thing is this will be the first release that will release at the same time the English version and the Japanese version. There will no longer have to wait many months for localization. The Japanese version and the English version will be releasing at the exact same time. There'll be a global release of the game. So it looks like Sega going
Interesting.
forward, maybe more so with their Japanese games, they may be looking to just globally release them. Hopefully, we're going
Yeah.
to get more PC ports if they're not like weird Stadia exclusives. I don't know.
Yeah.
And we've even got announced that going forwards, if you don't know, the original Yakuza games are more like a brawler game mixed with RPG elements, whereas the new Yakuza 6, Yakuza Like a Dragon, was more like a turn-based game, like a JRPG, sort of like
Oh,
Final
right.
Fantasy,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah.
And they
Yeah.
have announced that the Yakuza series going forwards will remain a turn-based RPG series. So
Okay,
that's an
interesting.
interesting thing. Last trailer we have before we move on to quick news. Phantom Abyss was announced by Devolver Digital, and it feels like they've designed a game for me and maybe just me and a few other people. I don't know. Tell me if this interests you.
Okay.
Asynchronous multiplayer platformer roguelite.
That's just words. How does that work though?
Okay, so I'll actually explain how that works. Basically,
Yeah,
you go into a temple.
yeah,
Okay, so I should have done this first. At the end of a temple lies the most powerful relic. Claiming it will seal the temple forever, meaning only one person in the world to claim it. To get to this relic, you have to platform, and as you progress with the platforming, you unlock like power ups that help you through your run. The
yeah.
asynchronous multiplayer part is everyone in the world is trying to complete that unique temple at the same time, and you will be able to see what they did on their run through ghosts, basically. So there will be ghosts of other players' runs through it, and you can kind of see, hey, this person died here doing this. Maybe I shouldn't do that sort of thing. Which I find like
Yeah.
that's how it's like asynchronous multiplayer sort of thing, which I find kind of interesting. And the thing is, it balances itself the ghosts, because there'll be less ghosts the further you get. So the good
Oh, that's
players
true. Yeah, yeah.
um, will not have as many ghosts as the newer players who need more help, sort of thing. I think this
Yeah.
is a really interesting idea. No, I'm gonna say is just imagine a cloud of smoke just going. Pff, Peter Molyneux appearing on stage. Curiosity 2.
Yeah, this is
Curiosity
kind
Cube
of
2
the Monday
confirmed.
game.
There is only one person can experience the true prize inside the temple. The temples are procedurally generated, so obviously there'll be a temple with a unique reward at the end that will close off once it's completed, but there'll be other ones you can do, sort of thing, because they're
Yeah.
all procedurally generated. Just to note, that's another crossover between Peter Molyneux and Devolver Digital, and Curiosity Cube. Devolver Digital was the person who actually gave something to the winner of the Curiosity
Oh, yeah,
Cube,
it was, wasn't it?
because
Yes.
they and Not a Hero added the NPC to Not a Hero for the winner of Curiosity Cube. So there's another Devolver Digital Peter Molyneux crossover that I could just pull
Yeah.
out of fiction. There you go, guys.
It's
From this
it's a
trailer.
this is a very weird game. I think this is
A game
not
is
for me,
it's
but
a game
definitely for
it's
you.
a game I fucking love. One of my most played games is Hot Lava. I fucking love platforming games. I love roguelike games. That's one of my favorite genres. So yeah, this is definitely a game I will be
Yeah.
looking forward to playing. I did watch a bit of gameplay. I watched Northern Lion stream it on Twitch, and that was pretty cool. Like from the gameplay I saw, so there is gameplay out there if you're more interested in watching this one.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
as I always say, Devolver publishes some really interesting stuff.
They always
Um,
do.
I was going to talk about this later, but I guess I could talk about it now. Actually, thinking about it. I don't know if I can find it. I'll talk about it later because I can't find it on the show doc. But anyway, that's the end of the trailers. Now, quick news. I have taken quick news, Tony, and I've marked off the point where I think quick news ends and it's actual news. So let's try and get. I've got a point where it says that I think this is where quick news
Yeah,
ends.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm normally the one that goes, yes. I'm gonna now just start writing down what the news is instead, just to put it under quick news. Otherwise, I just have like a huge section that's just quick news. And like, I need to actually designate more or different
Okay.
times than just quick news. So
So quick news. Rambo and Die Hard are being added to Warzone. This is an interesting crossover. I said there'll be some crossovers. So I believe you can play as Rambo. Or Rambo might be a skin. What I know about this is I think Nakatomi Plaza from Die Hard is being added to the map. So that's
oh
interesting.
right, okay,
Um,
right.
yeah, so
Yeah, yeah,
Rambo's
it
live.
is. Yes.
Nakatomi Plaza. Yeah. So yeah. It just feels
Meet
like
John McClane.
it feels like Warzone's being like, we can do that too, Fortnite. We can add random pop culture references to our Battle Royale game as well.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Tony. Good news. Grand Theft Auto 5 is coming to PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S on
I
November
knew it.
11th.
It's the new Skyrim.
Can you not wait to play GTA 5 again?
Did it originally come out on like the PS3 and and Xbox 360 then?
It came on the
Did it wait
original.
until place?
It came out on the original 360. Yeah.
Yeah,
Back in
that's
like
insane.
2013 or something. And
Yeah, I
I've,
remember in university.
I've got an image here, Tony. If you look at I don't know if you look at the doc or the stream, but there's an image here. What we grew up with GTA 5. What today's kids grew up with GTA 5. There's like an almost 10-year gap between GTA releasing and GTA
Yeah.
being re-released, so it's tragic. They did said they were going to add some more stuff to GTA Online and Red Dead Redemption Online. They were like, it's almost the anniversary of GTA 3, like 15 years or 20 years or something like that. And they were like, we're going to add some GTA 3 stuff to GTA 5, where it's just going to be like they're adding one NPC as a pedestrian to GTA Online that says a line from GTA 3. That's the big content update, pretty much. Yeah.
Love to
Huge,
see it.
huge guys.
Huge.
Some people were saying they were like speculating maybe they'll release single player GTA 5 DLC. I'm like, there's no way. GTA Online is their cash cow.
Yeah.
Next up, we have
Yeah.
Gears 5. The Coalition is moving to next gen development. So the Coalition, the developers of Gears 5, will now be working on Unreal Engine 5. That shiny new ray traced demo we saw from Unreal Engine. Was it the Luminous system when they showed like the
Yeah.
real time lighting? Because I think for the longest time they've been making Gears in Unreal Engine 4, which is why it was so easy to port over to PC. And from everything I've heard of like the Gears 5, they've done like a really good job of optimizing the Unreal Engine with Gears.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
having them work on their next game on Unreal Engine 5, I'm really excited for what they can do with the brand new Unreal Engine 5. I'm really looking forward because I don't think we've seen a single game that's come out in Unreal Engine 4. I think Fortnite just got moved to Unreal Engine 4. So I don't think
Yeah.
we've
It was on
seen a
3
game
before,
in
right?
Unreal Engine 5 yet. I don't think it's really been mass release sort of thing. So we're just going to have to see how that turns out. But it looks...
Can they just make the game from the Unreal 5 demo though, or like the demo reel sort of thing?
Just look at the demo reel and make a game. That's...
Just no, make that game. I
Oh,
want like the gliding
yeah,
and
yeah,
like
yeah. That
the
game looked like a kind of like a Lara
that
Crofty
looked
sort of
really
like...
cool.
yeah, it looked really cool. Creeper World 4 is getting a co-op multiplayer mode. I put this in
This is such a weird
as
game.
the Tony slash Michael game, where it's like an
This is more okay.
RTS tower defense game.
Yeah, do you even know that Michael played like Creeper World 3 all the time?
Yeah, that's why I put it in there. I
Okay,
saw
okay.
Michael playing Creeper World 3,
And
and I
you
was
don't
like,
do you know who Angori Tom is from the old
no
scouts?
idea, no.
Okay, well he's been playing Creeper World 4 by himself, obviously.
Yeah.
It's a very weird because like it's not. I don't think Creeper World 3 a 3D game. I thought it's like a isometric sort of game. I don't even know. This is like a fully 3D strategy game, so
Mm.
it's very weird. The blue goo,
Well,
very weird
Tony, you've
mechanics.
got this on your wish list, so you and Michael can now
Yeah,
play
yeah.
multiplayer together.
Yeah, finally. Well, we've
Finally.
all wanted co-op strategy game. To be fair, okay, genuinely though, I think, in my opinion, I wish there were more co-op like strategy and city builder games. Like that is something I think we need more of.
What am I?
So that is really cool.
Anno's like a big one.
Yeah, I know it's sort of co-op, it's not like as integrated as I'd want. Technically, SimCity 2013 technically was one, but in a shit way. Yeah, there's just not that many co-op strategy games or city builder games, so it's good to see.
Yep. Okay. Next up, Netflix apparently eyeing video game expansion according to a new report. Netflix is in the race to become the Netflix of video games, but Xbox Game Pass... You remember how everyone's like, this is going to be the Netflix of video games?
Yeah.
But it seems like Xbox Game Pass is already the top dog. If you get Xbox Game
Yeah, that's the
Pass...
Netflix at the moment, yeah, for sure.
Basically, the Netflix of video game subscriptions is Xbox, so they've got some catching up to do if they want to be the Netflix of Netflix. Or the Netflix
Yeah.
of video games, I guess. What was I going to say? Because with Xbox, you get access to all the Microsoft studios, which they've bought all of them basically, and you get EA Games Pass. You get all the EA games as well on Games
Right,
Pass.
okay.
So yeah, just like trying to compare any new subscription service to Xbox Game Pass is going to be a very hard sell at this point. Itch.io hosted its first Creator Day a couple weeks ago. So it had what's called a Creator Day. So for one day, creators at Itch received 100% of the revenue on sales on Creator Day. I thought this was interesting to highlight.
Oh, right,
So if you bought
interesting.
anything on this day, everything would go to them. in order to try and help put back to creators. According to Apple, itch.io is a depraved app that lets people upload horrible things to the Epic Games Store through their integration. I'm just like,
I mean, they're not
okay,
wrong.
Apple. Yeah. I mean, there's some pretty janky stuff in itch.io, but
Yeah.
it's not that bad.
They should have seen Steam in its heyday.
Serious Sam 4 modder has made a fully functional kart racing mod, so
Why? Okay.
we can now add Serious Sam 4 to the list of kart racing games on PC. Seven
Yep.
Spoke Racing is now available to play. It looks like they've pretty much just obviously getting the kart racing to work is a feat in itself, but it seems like a lot of the maps are just ports of Mario Kart maps. So
Yeah.
getting the kart racing to work is pretty cool, but then
Maybe
seems like
make some serious Sam maps. Yeah. I don't know.
no. But I think these guys who made this are actually like big Serious Sam modders. Like they've been making mods for Serious Sam for a really long time,
Right.
and
Right.
I think like Serious Sam 4 like has big workshop support sort of thing was the thing they sold that on.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
never played a Serious Sam 4. I've never
Nope.
played a Serious Sam game. I should say it's one of those boomer shooters that's been brought into the modern day sort of thing where
Yeah.
I don't actually know a lot about it, but I like kart races, so I thought I'd mention this.
Well,
Um,
it's not serious Sam 4 though, and it came out recently, so they're just okay, interesting.
Next up, we have Image and Form. The creators of the SteamWorld games are now working on several new SteamWorld games, so this is really cool to see. Obviously I'm always talking about how SteamWorld Dig and SteamWorld Dig 2 are massively underrated games, and
Hmm.
they also basically the way the SteamWorld genre works is they never really make a game in the same genre. So they have like a tactical game like SteamWorld Heist. They have a deck building game called I think it's called like SteamWorld Hand of Gilgamesh or something, and they just like we really like the world we build games in, but we don't want to just keep rehashing the same genre, so we're just gonna like
Right,
keep
right.
trying different stuff.
Yeah.
Um, I believe you can still pick up the bundle where SteamWorld Quest Hand of Gilgamesh is in. Let me have a look at. Does it have like a
So
time limit
that's the one
thing?
with all that's like deck builder and like strategy or something, or deck builder
It
and like
ends
battle or
in one
something.
day and 22 hours. So if you're watching this live,
Right.
or you watch it, if you
Pick it
watch
up.
the VOD very quickly,
Good
and
deal.
there's a bunch of deck builder games and
That's
strategy.
the one with Imperator at the end
Yeah,
of
it's got
it.
like
Yeah.
some
Yeah,
RTS
yeah.
sort of games in it as well.
Yep.
But basically, I was like, because I don't think I wanted to play any of the other games. So I'm like, it's cheaper to buy SteamWorld Quest Hand of Gilgamesh in this bundle by itself than it is to buy it in that it's been on sale on Steam. So I was like, well, I might as
Yeah.
well just get the bundle, I guess.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
American McGee has revealed Oz Adventures, a hybrid TV and video game project. So if you don't know American McGee is famous for making the Alice games.
Oh, it's
Where
them.
they're basically the dark action adventure take on Alice in Wonderland sort of thing. They're pretty good
Right.
games. I've like played parts of some, and I think I enjoyed them. So interesting to see like his take on the Wizard of Oz sort of thing. So
Yeah, okay. Okay, okay.
let's see how he does on that. Knockout City is out, and it actually released with because I've played a lot of the trial of this, and you have no idea because I haven't done a tangerine on it. But this game is
Yeah,
really
we could do
fun,
that.
and it's out now. And I was like, I don't know how well this game's gonna do because it seems like it's almost set up like a free to play game, but you have to buy it. Like, because when EA released Rocket Arena, it did really poorly because they released it as a paid game, whereas it seemed like it was more. I don't think people would be willing to pay for that sort of game. Whereas if it was released as a free to play game with like cosmetic microtransactions, I think people would be a lot happier about it.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Um,
it's just one of those games, I guess. But
but I think this is gonna really help the player base having the 10-day free trial. Obviously, for the
yeah.
10 days, it's gonna help, but then obviously people will get converted to purchases. But the saving grace for this is it's coming out day one on Games Pass and EA Access. So I was talking about like
That's
how
nice.
EA Play and Xbox Game Pass just massively make sense if you ever want to play any games on them to
Yeah,
start
if you
doing.
don't own them and just want to play something that you don't want to
Yeah.
play again after, that makes a lot of
But
sense. Yeah.
I heard it's doing pretty well. Knockout City, I think I read it had about 2 million players at the moment, so
Oh, really?
it's
That's good.
doing very well. It's very popular on Twitch because I think they've paid a bunch of streamers to stream it. So we'll see how long that lasts for. But yeah, it's quite popular on
Still
Twitch.
pretty good either way. It's either it's good advertising or people
Hmm.
just actually like it.
Ghost Runner 2 has been announced. So we talked about the acquisition where 505 Games just straight up purchased the rights to Ghost Runner.
Yeah,
But
which is
now
weird.
they've announced that the original Ghost Runner has sold over 600,000 copies since release. Ghost Runner is another
That,
game I've played the entirety of, but I have not talked about in a Tangerine. But then I realized we've already done a Tangerine of Ghost Runner where I played
yeah,
the demo, but I've
yeah.
played the entire full game now. So maybe we need to do. Have we ever done a Tangerine twice on a game? That's an
I
interesting
don't know.
question.
Does it make sense to? Do you want to do it again, or do you like? How much do you want to show of the full game though?
Well, I have a
Like,
lot
do you
more
not
to
get
talk
the
about.
experience? Okay, okay, fair enough.
Hmm. We'll see. Next up, we have GitHub has restored the reverse engineered GTA code. So if you don't remember, someone reverse engineered the
Yeah, I
Grand
do
Theft
remember
Auto
this.
code.
And there's the MCA takedown, right? And then by
It
Rockstar?
was it GTA 3 or San Andreas? I don't remember which one it was.
I
It was
don't
one of
remember which
those
one it
two.
was.
But basically,
Yeah.
they received a DMCA notice saying you can't use this code because that's our code. And it's like, no, it's not. We reverse engineered it, which means none of the actual code was
Yeah,
owned
it's not
by
actually theirs
the
then, is
game.
it?
So
Yeah.
until like the way the native port of Super Mario 64 works is all of the code is reverse engineered and isn't actually owned by Nintendo.
Otherwise Nintendo could take down that
And
yeah, the Minecraft version of Mario.
they don't give you any of the intellectual property assets, such as the
No.
actual ROM itself. You need to
Yeah.
mount that yourself. That way, none of the code is copyrighted, sort of thing, so they can't take it down.
Yeah. That
As
makes
we
sense.
talked about before, this is massively going to help stuff like GTA mods because if they have access to the reverse engineered code, it's going to make it a lot easier to mod the game. How did I do, Tony? I wrote this is I think this is where quick news ends. 30
Yeah,
minutes
that's pretty
in.
good.
That's not
Yeah,
bad.
we started at 18 minutes for quick news, so pretty good.
EA says it will leave Codemasters to its own devices like it has with Respawn. No, I don't think so. I doubt that they're going to do that, but we'll have to see. They had the big 1.2 billion acquisition of Codemasters, the big
Yeah.
Dirt guys who make the very popular racing game.
I feel like they're gonna leave them alone for at least the next couple of years, but then after that, EA like completely changes and like,
Well,
they change their minds and
I
things.
thought the idea was you got the guys who made Dirt, and then you got them to make Need for Speed. I thought that was the idea.
That's the strat, surely. Yeah.
You get them to make all your racing games, sort of
Yeah.
thing. Because wouldn't that make the most sense? I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I think the most recent Need for Speed was Heat, and it got like mixed reviews, sort of thing.
My
I'm not sure about
understanding
it.
of like the internals of EA is like depending on how good like the boss, the C, well not the CI I guess, but the dev at the top of like of Respawn or whatever, like it kind of dictates how separate you are from the rest of EA's dev teams.
Hmm.
Like if you just let them take it over, they'll just integrate you to the like other projects and you just get dissolved.
Okay.
That's my understanding anyway. It
Okay.
probably isn't completely accurate, but
Next up, we have Amazon's upcoming MMO New World has put out a statement responding to concerns and criticism of its in-game storefront. So, New World is now, which was previously only in alpha. I think
yeah,
it was like,
what's it in now? Is it in?
I think it's still in alpha at the moment. So,
Oh, okay, right. It's not in beta or anything.
no, I think it's still,
Okay,
but
okay.
they have said that the cash that they've added to the game is only cosmetic, so you can buy weapon and armor skins.
Just like Fallout
Um,
76.
but they're also doing pay for convenience sort of thing, quality of life sort of thing, where they're allowing you
Yeah.
to buy rested XP, buy fast travel,
Mm-hmm.
buy profession boosting through the store. We've got some criticism from a big figure in the MMO world, Asmongold, who's put out a
Yeah,
statement saying, because he was one of the people who was very much behind Amazon's New World. He said the game was actually quite fun to play, and now
right.
he's saying he's sick of like, he's someone who's very against like cash shops in like a paid game sort of thing.
Yeah, I can understand that. It makes sense.
I obviously this is going to be a slippery slope argument. They're going to put in a cash shop that's just cosmetic, and then it's going to be well, it's just a little boost. Well, if you want
Yeah.
to boost your character up
Well,
levels, then that.
also, if he ever if say it was successful, and like I'm not saying it's gonna be, but say it was, and then their player base starts to die out, they're gonna be more incentivized to add more microtransactions,
Let's just
aren't they?
say
So
the game's an alpha and it's already got a cash shop. You almost did
yeah.
it, Amazon. You almost made an okay game without loading it with microtransactions. You almost got to the beta stage of a
Give
game.
us Colin back. Give him a new project.
Well, the thing
Ah,
is, like, if they have the Guild Wars 2 developers, I can see why they loaded a cash shop full of cosmetics
yeah,
and quality, like, pay to skip things, sort of thing.
yeah. It just
Like, I
sucks.
can, because if you don't know, Guild Wars 2 has, like, a lot of buy extra bag space, buy extra, like,
Yeah.
character
But
slots on.
they don't have a subscription model or anything, so they're kind of
Yeah.
banking on that till they get them through. Obviously, they made a lot of profit from it as well, but
But you could argue, like, that sort of stuff should be in, like, a free to play game, sort of thing. Because that's how it works in. That's how it
yes.
works in like Path of Exile is completely free, but then people are like, once you get a certain point into the game, you kind of have to buy like the um, extra bank slots or character slots or whatever you need to buy, and they're like, well, that's like
Yeah.
you. That's at the point where you actually like pay for the game, where it's like a trial where you play up to that point for free,
Well,
and then
as long as once you reach that point, like you buy like an expansion level DLC that like only once, and it's like it makes sense. It's not more
mm.
expensive that way.
But
That feels okay to me.
so I know a lot of people got really hyped for New World when it was in the alpha, where people were streaming it, and if you wanted to play it, you could get straight into the alpha if you pre-ordered it on Steam. So
Oh right, yeah,
so from what I've read, when a game is in alpha beta stage, like New World is, early access doesn't count for this rule. But if a game is in alpha and you've pre-purchased it, you can request a refund regardless of how long you've played the game.
oh
Um,
really?
so the game is in such a volatile state that it will change. You can get a refund because you disagreed with the changes they've made to the game
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it's in such an early state and it's a pre-order. Like the game's not out yet; it's not out in early access, sort of thing. So no matter how long you've played, the 2 hour window for refunds only valid for games that have already launched or are in early access.
yeah,
So you can get a refund for this if you did pre-order during the alpha hype sort of thing and you don't agree with the cash shop that's been added. Next up,
which you shouldn't be adding to a non-release game anyway, whatever game
yeah,
you've got. But
CDPR is apparently in talks to use the Witcher 3 mods in an official next gen version of the game. Do you remember they announced ages ago that they're going to re-release The Witcher 3
yeah,
with ray tracing sort of thing as the upgraded version for the next gen consoles and PC as a free
I do
upgrade?
remember that. Yeah, I do remember that.
So basically, the creator of a texture upscaling mod was reached out to by CG Project Red, and there appears to be talks of putting his upscaled textures into the next gen up. I was going to say remaster, but it's more like a next gen upgrade. I guess is the term we're going with now.
Yeah, I would call it that.
That's the new term we're
Yeah.
going to go with. So I'm actually hopeful for the next gen Witcher release. Some people will be like CG Project Red lol, Cyberpunk lol. But it's actually being made by Saber Interactive, who did the fantastic Switch port of The Witcher 3. So that gives me a little
Yeah,
bit more hope.
they're pretty good guys. Yeah,
Like, the Switch port of The Witcher 3 was fantastic. What they were able to do with the engine of the game. So I know these guys have a really good understanding of, like, The Witcher 3 engine. So even, like, people's biases against City Project Red for the Cyberpunk, I get it. I feel like they did people dirty as well, but um, hopefully Saber Interactive is able to pull a really cool next gen version of The Witcher 3 for people to play, sort of thing. I
yeah,
When
yeah,
I read they were going out to modders, I was actually kind of curious if they would ever go up to a modder of The Witcher 3 who made like a combat overhaul mod and be like, let's give people an option to like completely overhaul the combat in
Oh,
Defense
like an
Edition.
option. Yeah, kind of cool.
Yeah, I think that would be a kind of cool idea. Obviously, you could mod
Yeah.
that in yourself, but like it natively being in the
No,
game,
yeah,
I'd
no, yeah.
probably
Like
want
if
people to use it.
like when you start the game, or just like in the options menu, something like what combat scheme do you want or something. That'd be really cool.
Anyway, next up we have Fall Guys Mid-Season Update 2. I've played this. So basically, what they added for the mid-season update for Season 4 was they added two new maps. I'll talk about that in quick. The Slime Scraper. I love Slime Climb, so a new version of Slime Climb that's like even more brutal in like this cyberpunk style. I'm all for that. I love these kind of maps where it just kills so many people, sort of thing. Um,
It does look really cool, actually.
The other one, I don't think I've played. The Button Basher, I didn't get a chance to play that when I played it. The thing I did play, though, that's pretty important is custom lobbies for all now. So you can go, as long as you have at least 4 people, you can go into a custom lobby and you can just play your own Fall Guys matches with your friends. Because this was
Yeah.
huge, because we kept running into issues where, like, 4 of us would want to play Fall Guys, and then we'd have a fifth person or a sixth person, or we'd get, like, some point we could have up to like 8 people who all had Fall Guys and wanted to play it, where we couldn't all play because then we'd have to like try and awkwardly split up into 2 parties, or somebody would go and play a different game. But now the way it's set up is, as long as you have 4 people, you can start your own custom lobby and start your own games. And I played that for a bit, and it's pretty fun, but it needs some work because
Right.
there's some game modes where you need a minimum amount of people to start them. So for
Oh,
like
right. Okay.
there's like 3 maps you can start with 4, but then if you can get 6 people, you can do like another 2 maps, and then if you can get 8 people, it opens up more maps. So it's like some people are like, when some people are like, I want to go to bed. It's like, well, if you go to bed, we can't play this map anymore because now we had 5 people. Or if we can
Yeah.
get some more people to play with us, we can play different maps. But like the map choice is really low, and a lot of the time it doesn't make sense because the way they're set up so you start the map with a bunch of people and then one person gets knocked out per round and then you have a finale round. They should just set it up where I could start a map with as many people as I want and then just have it as a single round. Like, there's no reason I need 8 people to play full ball. We could just play full ball 1v1, 2v2, 3v3. Like, it doesn't make sense that I have to have 8 people to play a game of full ball. Like,
Yeah. I
obviously,
think that
like,
makes
do you know what
sense.
full ball is like? It's like the Rocket League
Uh,
game mode, basically.
yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I've seen little bits of most game modes. I think I know what
So
you're talking about.
really cool they added this custom lobby. Obviously, also the crossplay they've added as well is pretty cool. But yeah, the 2 new maps I really like. Slime, was it Slime Scraper is called? So similar to that, I really would like them to improve custom lobbies so we don't have arbitrary numbers on them because it doesn't really make sense. And from playing squads mode, it seems like they may have improved it. This may just be like, I just think they've improved it because I've played squad modes more now, but it does seem like better when I'm playing with like, because obviously before squad modes it felt really bad where I would play with some of my friends who are newer players and they would get knocked out in the early rounds and they just have to spectate, but now you can like pull more weight and kind of carry the newer players so they can see more of the game, sort of thing, which is cool to
Yeah,
see. Um,
they could just get good though. That's always
just
an
yeah,
option.
turns it RT. Get good. Put
Just
it on a
get good.
poster. Okay, we
Yeah.
have business news now, Tony. I've actually got categories
Wait,
now.
are we not skipping some other Fall Guys news
Oh,
though?
yeah, you're right. Fall Guys accidentally leaked their game code in the latest Steam update by shipping the folder Fall Guys client back up this folder but don't ship with your game, as noted by Pavel, who's one of the creators of SteamDB. And he actually, I think he went and he looked at like all of the people. Basically, I think it's a Unity thing where it's a folder to help back up your game, but you're not supposed to ship it. And he went and he looked at a bunch of other games that also shipped with this in the Steam database, and he was like, "You guys may want to take this out of the build that you have up on Steam now, because
Yeah,
kind of obviously it's not like a direct source code sort of thing, but it does.
but it's like a portion of it, isn't it?
But I think it shows like code in C plus or C sharp, or I don't know. I'm not a developer.
It probably hasn't got all the packages like linking to it, but it's only got the stuff that Yeah, it's a bit of a weird system. I don't entirely
Okay,
understand it
Tony.
yet. So
Business news.
business news.
Embracer
I'm
Group,
down.
Big Daddy Embracer Group, aka THQ Nordic is their real name for me, has
Yeah.
acquired Appeal Studios, Kaiko, Massive Mini Team, and Framebreak. Oh, sorry, this was the image. So these games have launched with the folder Getting Over It, Oxenfree, Lord of the Rings, LCG, Hobo RPG, um, Edge of Eternity, Demon Gate. So there's a bunch of like big name games that have shipped with this folder, and he's saying there's 111 depots on Steam that have this in them. So you probably should not ship your build with this folder in it because it's an easy mistake to make. Anyway, so Embracer Group's THQ Nordic. I'll give you a quick rundown on the studios they've acquired. So Appeal Studio is working on an open world sci-fi action game that has not been officially announced. They worked on the original creators of a game called Outcast from 1999. No, I have no idea what it is. It's a very old game.
What are in between then and now?
I don't know. All I know is they're working on a new open world sci-fi action game. So
Right.
probably
Hopefully,
fans
set
of
in
Outcast.
1999.
Yeah. Kaiko ports. So they basically Kaiko did ports such as the Red
Oh,
Faction
right.
Guerrilla Remastered,
Yeah, these guys.
Legend of K Anniversary, Darksided War Mastered, Darksiders 2 Definitive Edition, and the recently released THQ Nordic's Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning. So these basically are the
No, yeah,
remaster
nice.
guys. So they've been
Yeah.
officially absorbed into the Embracer Group / THQ Nordic. So that's cool to see.
Yeah.
The studio itself was founded in 2014 and currently engages 10 employees. Doesn't seem like a lot, does it? So,
No.
um,
Pretty impressive what they've done with that team
yeah,
size, actually.
Massive Mini Team. These guys do Little Big Workshop, Can't Drive This, Chicken Police as well. Do you remember Chicken Police?
Chicken Police.
The game that.
What a
Do you
banger.
remember Michael streamed that?
Yep,
Yeah.
yeah. I remember it vividly. Yep.
Okay. And the final one is Frame Break. From what I saw on their Twitter, they are working on a farm mech game. I think it's called Farm Mech, and it's basically an FPS farming game where you control a mech. That is
Okay,
what they are
count me in. I'm already
I'm behind Farm Mech.
in. Combine my two favorite things in the world,
Farming
farming
and
and
mechs.
mechs. You know me.
I'll just put up their Twitter so I can show you an image of it from what we've seen
Yeah.
so far. So apparently they've been working on this for 2 years, and they're showing everything they've been working on over the past 12 months. So basically, yeah, it's a farming game in a mech. That's what it is. So yeah, that is pretty
Nice.
cool. Next up, we have Time Splitter Studios. Free Radical has reformed to make a new entry at last. So Koch Media holds the
Yeah.
license. And if you don't know, Koch Media is a subsidiary of the Embracer Group. So it's another THQ Nordic company.
So THQ Nordic owns COP.
Yeah, they own Koch.
Right.
You could say the Embracer's got Koch. So,
Okay, they're embracing the cock.
but basically, it basically seems like there'll be a new Time Splitters game, and you won't have to buy Homefront to be able to play Time Splitters on PC.
Yeah, that's some of my favorite news stories about this year. Yeah, this year, right?
Yeah,
It wasn't
it was
last
this year. Yeah, it was like I don't know if it was like added this year, but they discovered it this year at least.
It's discovered this year, yeah.
So we have Steam news. So first up in Steam news, we have Dota 2's The International will happen this year. So this is kind of big news that an international esports event is happening. So it will be happening in August in Stockholm, Sweden. So there will be 17 teams going to Sweden to participate in this event. Interesting to see how this is handled, given like the pandemic and everything.
Yeah.
Because I know it just finished. The League of Legends esports tournament MSI was just hosted in Iceland, so it seems like Scandinavia might be like that sort of Nordic area might be the area to go for like international events. It's like a neutral zone where there's not very like high cases and everyone can quarantine before they come in, sort of thing. Because I don't know how they're
Yeah.
going to do it. I don't know if they went into it sort of
Are they
thing.
just are they just playing in low population areas? 'Cause all those countries are pretty low population
Low
compared to the
populations,
size.
quite secluded, like in terms of
Yeah.
where they are, quite cold climate. I don't know if cold climates are
Cold's
better.
not great because that makes us more
Mm,
susceptible to catching it,
yeah.
but I guess if you're inside, it's probably not a problem.
Well, in Iceland they got volcanoes, so they should be pretty warm.
Yeah, they got a geothermal everywhere.
Because
It's
I
great.
know, because I don't watch Dota. I just I watch League. Like if it, when you play one of the MOBAs, you pick one and you don't really go between them, sort of thing. But
I think I've picked none
you've
as
picked
my
none.
option.
Tony's a
None of
heroes.
the above.
Tony's a Heroes of the Storm
Oh yeah,
guy.
I'm here. Yeah, I'll go over the Storm canvas
Yeah.
pictures. So yeah, I'm here as a Storm kind of guy.
He literally has a canvas of Heroes of the
Yeah.
Storm in his room. I'm like, have you ever
Well,
played Heroes of the
technically,
Storm?
well,
And he's like,
okay,
no.
hold up,
Okay.
hold up. Technically, it's just of StarCraft and World of Warcraft. Well, I guess Warcraft in general. It's not just World of Warcraft,
It's
but
Heroes of the Storm.
it's technically here's of something, but it's just characters
That's what
from
Heroes
other
of the Storm
games.
says. It's just all the
That's
Blizzard
fine, but that's
characters.
like it's like if some like oh well I saw this character from Mortal Kombat. I'm not gonna quote the original series from it. It's a Mortal Kombat character. Darth Vader. That's a Soul Calibur character.
Okay. All right.
I'm just
Uh,
saying, it's a Warcraft and
But
stuff
anyway,
picture.
I know for the League MSI teams quarantined for a week. I don't know if they're quarantined. I know they 100% quarantined for 2 weeks for the Worlds last year for China. There was,
Yeah.
I think there was 1 week maybe for Iceland. They may have different quarantine rules. I know the Chinese team that went back from the League MSI. They had to go back on a. There was some scheduling conflict because the team that won the group had to play immediately back to back, even though
Oh
they
right.
won. But the thing was, they said, yeah, if the Chinese players want to get back into China, they have to go to a laboratory in Iceland to get a COVID blood test to be allowed back into the country. So they had to like change the scheduling around that, which is pretty interesting. I thought. Yeah, the
Yeah, I don't
different.
understand that one. Okay.
Anyway, yeah. Next up, we have Steam news. Saints Row the Third remaster is now on Steam. It was a year of Epic exclusivity, but it's finally
Already
been
been a year.
announced. It's been released on Steam, and if you own the original game and DLC, you can get a 65% discount on Saints Row Remastered. I own the game, but I don't own the DLC, so it's cheaper for me to get the bundle and get all the DLC for Saints Row 3 because it's like the game. If you hadn't played this, if you don't own Saints Row the Third and you just want to get the remaster, it's £20 on
Right.
Steam with the discount. If you already own Saints Row 3 but none of the DLC, it's £18, and I think you own Saints Row 3 and all the DLC for it's like £12 for you.
Yeah, it's for
Something like
pound
that.
12 pence or
Yeah,
something.
so there you go. There's the Saints Row on
To be fair,
Steam.
£20 like that's remaster has all the DLC attached into it, right? So even
Yep.
that's a
It's
pretty
more
good deal as a
it's more
remaster.
so like it's more so they're trying to do a loyalty discount sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Because if you already own Saints Row the Third, it would make more sense to not pay as much because you've already played the game sort of thing. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the people who are coming in just for the remastered would pay the bigger price sort of thing. Next up, oh also Payday 2 and Saints Row the Third remasters are having a crossover
Yeah,
where they're adding
Criminal Bundle.
Saints Row the Third character to
Oh, Criminal
Payday.
Ambition Bundle. That's what it's
And they've
called.
also got a bundle you can buy that has all the Saints Row DLC and remastered and all the Payday 2 DLC. And I gotta say, there's a lot of fucking Payday 2 DLC. So
Mm-hmm.
it's £40 for me. How much is it for you, Tony? I'm curious because
Uh,
I don't own the Saints Row DLC, but I own some of the Payday 2 DLC.
£32.
Oh, so it's a lot cheaper. Did you buy Saints Row the Third remastered, by the way?
No, no.
Okay, so you're just on the strength of the Saints Row the
Yeah,
Third
right.
and
It
DLC
just
sort of
must
thing.
have. Yeah, it must have just taken it off from that.
Interesting, right? Next up, SteamDB again. Pavel, again. He's actually posted. For anyone curious, here are 17 reasons a refund can be declined on Steam. So they actually went and data mined the data of why someone can immediately decline a refund from you. So the reasons are playtime. So obviously, if you have more than 2 hours, purchase date, I think it's 2 weeks to get. Must use
Yeah.
wallet. I don't really misuse. So I guess that's if it's a you're like misusing the refund system. Wallet credits
Yeah.
used. So wait, if you use your wallet or use wallet credits, you can't refund the game.
Well, I don't.
You can
Okay.
decline a refund. Items consumed. So obviously, if you've got cards and then you like sold the cards on the marketplace, and then you try to refund it. Gift redeemed. Account locked. VAC bans is another reason you could be stopped from a refund. Refund already issued. That one's pretty self-explanatory.
Classic.
Already charged back. So if you try and charge it back on your credit card and then try and refund it. Overuse. Game ban. Need more info. Gift reseller abuse and bad review behavior are kind of interesting ones where bad review behavior seems like you're playing the game, giving it a bad review, and then refunding it, sort of thing. That's kind of interesting.
Right. Okay.
Gift reseller
How do you know?
abuse is where maybe you're gifting the game, selling the key, and then trying to refund it, sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Like it becomes like if you buy a version with a free key or something, I guess.
Tony, it's another month. Another Portal 2 update is upon us. So there's a Portal 2 update.
At
The
last.
big things from the patch are it's removed the 100 megabit workshop level file size limit plus other fixes. So you can make a workshop map for Portal 2 that's as big as your heart desires. So
Right.
if
Okay.
you don't know, Tony, the reason I said that is we've received 3 updates for Portal 2 in the last 3 months. Half-Life 3 joke. Confirmed.
You think? You think it's a halfway through?
Half-Life 3 joke. Insert here.
Okay.
Anyway,
Okay.
but it's just like they did the Vulkan support, they fixed some
Yeah.
bugs, and then they've also fixed the workshop sort of thing. So this is, I feel like anytime I see something like this, I'm like, oh, someone at Valve got bored. This seems like
Yeah.
that's kind of how it works over at Valve. Is like whenever you see like a random update for a game, like if you don't know, Valve employees are kind of on like a flat level like management system where kind of everyone has the same authority, sort of, where they can kind of go off and
Yeah.
do
There's
their own
there's a bit.
projects.
From my understanding, there's like there are like systems in place where like they can like get people together and things, but like it's kind of like a democracy sort of system in a way. But
But like
obviously, you have things
it
you have to
like
do.
obviously like Half-Life Alyx when that launched, it didn't have the awesome liquid shader like it does now. But that was just like some guy, one of the developers, got bored during COVID and was like, "I'm gonna add a liquid shader to Half-Life Alyx bottles," and he was like, "Yeah, let's just ship this." So yeah,
It's in the
interesting to
game.
see. Um, so yeah, there was recently a Portal 2 workshop contest. For
Okay.
Map Labs,
Interesting.
which I haven't played, but
Yeah.
there is some really cool stuff in the Portal 2 workshop. So if you're a fan of Portal 2 like me, and you've completed the Portal 2 mod that confuses my brain, Portal
Oh,
Reloaded.
the prequel to Portal games. You play that one first.
Yeah, if you've never played Portal game, play Portal Reloaded first. That'd be a really good place to start. Um, This might be a soft hint that they may be doing something with Portal 2. I've heard there is some stuff in the works for some of Valve's old. Obviously, we saw the Left 4 Dead big community update.
Yeah, that's true. I was thinking about that actually.
Hopefully,
That was
we
more community driven though, wasn't it?
hope
That Valve
yeah.
kind of just allowed it, really.
Hopefully, we can see some more community driven stuff for stuff like Portal 2. If it's getting this TF2, we'd love to see
Yeah.
sort of thing. Also, it's great you fixed the Portal 2 workshop. Can you fix the fucking Half-Life Alyx workshop, please? It's been so broken since you launched it.
What
There
what's
is
wrong with it?
every single add-on release on the Half-Life Alyx
Oh,
workshop is
the tags,
categorized
yeah.
under one tag, which is Alyx add-on. Now, if you look at the Half-Life Alyx workshop, Tony, you'll see not everything is an Alyx add-on. Some of these things are maps. Some of them are new weapons. Some of them are skins. Some of them, and I don't know if you know this, people upload Source Filmmaker 2 models to the Half-Life Alyx workshop.
Right.
One of the main ways people are sharing sandbox maps is they're uploading them to the Half-Life Alyx workshop because it allows you to upload Source 2 content. So we also have sandbox maps added to the Half-Life Alyx workshop. So that's just 6 or 7 different categories of things I've just listed off that are completely different. And if you downloaded one over the other, you would have a massively different effect on your game. So if we could please
Yeah.
just get simple tags for the Half-Life Alyx workshop, that would be great, Valve. If someone at Valve,
No one's bored enough for that, Joe. Come
if
on.
someone's really bored at Valve after they finish this Portal 2 update, can we please get the Half-Life Alyx workshop update?
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
So we got a interview with Gabe Newell. If you don't know, Gabe Newell is a New Zealand. I think he's a New Zealand citizen now.
He's a
And
New Zealander.
New Zealand. He's the richest man in New Zealand.
He's the
Um,
newest Zealander, you could
yeah.
say.
He did an interview at a New Zealand school where he's taking a bunch of questions, and one of the questions that was asked was about Steam games on consoles, which Gabe Newell responded with, "You will get a better idea about Steam games on consoles by the end of this year." So,
Okay.
speculation. Rumors say that Valve really wants Game Pass on Steam. Obviously, they already have EA access, and it would make a lot of sense to also have Games Pass be able to be purchased and downloaded through Steam.
Yeah.
It's a good idea. So there could be a deal with Xbox where they're trying to maybe publish some of their games on Xbox in order to get Games Pass on Steam. I know Valve hated making games on console. Obviously, they really hated making the orange box, like working on console, because there were so many.
Times have changed since then, though. Like I feel like we're more like them.
There
Like
was just like so many hoops they had to jump through.
yeah, internet and
On the
like free
360.
patches and things weren't a big thing back then, so they kind of were trying to control it and
Like
lock it down
famously,
back
like
then.
TF2 on the orange box was never updated just because of how hard it was to get like updates and games for the old
Yeah,
like 360 where you put games up on consoles.
basically dial-up.
So this is more speculation. Some speculation for me because obviously Xbox doesn't have a VR system yet. PS VR 2 is coming out soon, and could possibly there be Half-Life Alyx on the PSVR 2? We're getting E3 coming up soon, Tony, so we are going to get some massive announcements within the next month or so.
Yeah, that is true.
That was my original speculation, and it would have been if we did the podcast on Sunday. But we have more news, and I can't not talk about it while I'm talking about this. So let's talk about
That's fair.
Steam Pal. So our good friend Pavel from SteamDB, he was basically data mining through one of the new Steam builds that was launched. And he said, what the hell is Steam Pal and Steam Neptune? So it looks like, based on the Steam code that's been posted, there is a name that is derivative of a previously discovered code term Neptune, which began sometime in September, that points to a all-in-one PC gamepad controls and touchscreen similar to a Nintendo Switch.
Okay.
So you know how like the GPD Win and the Neo Geo are very popular handheld Windows
Yeah,
consoles?
yes.
It seems like
From what's his name? The
Low
Low
Spec
Spec
Gamer.
Gamer.
Yeah, and I think
Yeah.
Linus has done a few videos on.
Yeah, Linus done a video recently as well, yes.
Right now, handheld Windows PCs are very popular right now. Like there's a big rush where there's very like niche market, loads of people are getting into this space, and it seems like Valve is going to make a new Steam machine. There's going to be a portable Steam machine where it's like a Switch-like console that you can take around with you called Steam Pal. So, obviously, I'm talking about stuff that was in a Steam code, but Ars Technica actually corroborated with some source, and it seems like they've kind of confirmed some but not all what's going on with the codename Steam Pal. So it seems like Valve might actually be making a Switch-like portable gaming PC sort of thing.
Yeah.
So there is some truth behind this code. So you remember what Gabe Newell said, Tony? You will get a better idea about Steam games on consoles by the end of this year. He didn't say he wasn't making his own console.
That's true. No, I'm just thinking that I hope this has been like the Steam Link and stuff, and like they don't have the best of luck with hardware.
Do you remember the Steam boxes that they did in partnership
Yes.
with Alienware? I
Yes.
think they're
And it
gonna.
was going to be an open sourcing where anyone could make it, but like it didn't really take off. So it
So
was like,
I
meant to be like a
so I
new idea.
I believe so. Seems like from stuff that's leaked or speculation. This is unofficial what I'm talking about, but it
Yeah.
seems like it's going to be an x86 CPU or I don't. It may be a. Actually, I don't want to say that. It looks like it might be a Ryzen CPU.
Okay.
It looks like it may be running Linux or this basically the because I believe when you got a Steam box, it was running the Steam OS, which is basically a branch of Linux,
Yes.
and
Yeah. Yeah. That's correct.
that makes a lot of sense based on how they recently ported Portal 2 to Vulkan, and they're making the massive push to with like Proton and stuff to push all of the Steam game catalog to work on Linux devices. This being like a powerful Ryzen based Linux machine that's a handheld console sort of thing.
Yeah. It makes sense. Like all of that work and labor like would make money for them at this point if they do indeed do this.
Because it seems like because the other stuff that's been linked in the code, we know that they've put up patents for a new Index headset. I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't know if we'll get announcements of a new Index headset. Obviously, the rumors about Index headsets are wireless Index headset. People want. Oh well, it seems like they may be trying to put computer brain interfacing into a VR headset.
Okay.
So the next Index may come with the capability to rate brain waves through the
Control you through your brain,
no
microchips in
just
your head. Oh.
uninvasive
Oh. Damn.
just reading the
Damn.
waves sort of thing too.
It's not the
Yeah,
bulk technology we wanted, really.
no. So basically, yeah, that this could be to do with that. It seems like also good friend Pavel from SteamDB has also found Steam's getting a new downloads page. So it was in the same code that was added in the update for Steam Power, but I didn't realize. He said he didn't realize it was as simple to access though. So you can just go straight to Steam Nav library slash downloads, and it's showing like a new updated downloads page. And it seems like other people are getting different versions of the download page, so it's not like a like a like a final version of it. It seems like there's slightly different layouts of the new downloads page. Some people are saying
Okay. Is it?
why isn't there a download all button yet? I feel like that's a feature that people have wanted for a
Yeah.
while.
Or like be able to like don't add this to the queue or make yeah. There's
Yeah.
certain things or be able to pause it when there's nothing like currently queued. So you know
Mm.
you can like like so you can just basically stop it before something else comes in and like tries to use up your internet.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
But yeah, so basically this news came out very recently and I would have talked about it next podcast, but obviously we're doing it a bit late today. So I got to actually live connect the Gabe Newell statement with the Steam Power leaks. So yeah, some really interesting stuff coming out of Steam and Valve, and all obviously obviously the Portal 2 stuff, Dota stuff is live, but the speculation, the rumor mill is really starting to go on like a Steam console or like potentially a new Index hardware, new Index controllers or whatever, right? So that'd be really interesting.
Yeah.
I'm excited for E3. I don't know if Valve will be there. Um, I think it's confirmed now that this is interesting to point out. I think now that Bethesda is a Microsoft studio, I believe Bethesda's big announcements will be at the Microsoft show. So make sure you watch the Microsoft show this year at E3 if you're interested in Bethesda. But we will move on, and I'm sure we'll do an E3 show, a massive E3 show when that
Yeah,
premieres.
probably.
Blizzard news, Tony. Overwatch 2 still exists.
No,
We
damn
actually,
it.
I kept memeing the other day saying like,
Yeah.
guys, let's play Overwatch 2, and I got so many questions from my friends saying you're memeing, right? There's no such thing as Overwatch 2, and I'm like, no, they're genuinely making a game called Overwatch 2 that's a
Yeah.
sequel to Overwatch 1, and they're like, what? So we got a Overwatch 2 developer live stream that was focused on PvP. The big announcement is, Tony, Overwatch 1 was 6v6, so you had 2 healers, 2 supports, 2 tanks. Overwatch 2 is going to be 5v5. So they're removing, and the equation they're moving from that is they're removing a tank. So there will only be
Okay.
one tank in Overwatch. And I'm kind of all for that. One of the funny things they said was they tried like all DPS, or they tried upping the number of DPS, and they're like, let's never try that build of Overwatch again, sort of thing. Don't touch that one.
Right.
So they were
Yeah.
like, we've got the formula down now: one tank, two supports, and two DPS sort of thing, which I think is probably a good way to do it because Overwatch One, like it slowly when you had like 6v6 and you had like two tanks, it became like bubble shield 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 bubble 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 stun
Yeah,
stun
I
sort of
did
thing,
hear a lot of
and
complaints
like
about
they are doing compensation buffs for tanks. So a lot of tanks basically for compensation for there only being one tank, like Reinhardt's getting like improved shield, like his dash control. Some characters are getting like, alternative fire. So basically, all the tanks are being compensation buffs, and I think they want the role of the tank to be more of um, a CC knockback tank hero because I think they're also like as well as the change of the tanks they're going to try and remove as much CC from the DPSs so you have to rely more on tanks to have the CC.
it. Yep, that makes
So like
sense.
I think one of the example they said was like McCree has like his stun where you just stun lock someone and you shoot them, but then you're going to have to work more with your team sort of thing to line up those changes. So for the 10 people
Yeah.
out there who are still remember Overwatch 2 exists, there was your update on Overwatch 2. I don't know. I kind of want to play Overwatch 2. I was not actually
Yeah.
memeing that hard. I was like, I kind of liked Overwatch. I kind of didn't like the game it became, where it's
I
just like
mean,
tons of shields and
is it
you couldn't kill
Overwatch 2
anyone.
or just a major update for Overwatch though?
It's updated models with focus on PvE. Like
Yeah.
the thing,
But
okay,
it could have just been an update. It didn't have to be
I,
its own. It's
I,
gonna be its own launcher, right?
I didn't watch the whole thing. I watched like part of it and I took notes and then I didn't because it was like 3 hours long. Um,
Yeah.
They said they're going to move to 5v5, but from what I understand is Overwatch 1 is 6v6 and
Yeah.
the plan is that you can crossplay between Overwatch 1 and Overwatch 2. You don't have to buy Overwatch 2 if you don't want to get the updated models in the PvE game mode. Um
Okay.
how are they going to crossplay a 6v6 game with a 5v5 game? Is there going to be separate servers that are 5v5 and 6v6 or
I would assume so.
Is Overwatch 1 going to become a 5v5 game? I didn't get an answer to that. If anyone knows, that would be quite like useful
Yeah.
to find out sort of thing. Because I tried searching for it and I couldn't find anything about it because nobody knows what's happening with Overwatch 2, guys. Um,
Yeah, it's just really weird.
so we'll find. I guess we'll find out closer to the date this comes out. But yeah, I'll keep you updated. Um, Obviously, it's kind of sad if you've got like if you've been playing Overwatch for a while and you've got like you've played with like a full squad of 6 friends. You're about to find out who's everybody's sixth least favorite friend when Overwatch
Yeah.
2 comes out. So that'd be interesting to see.
They're gone. To be fair though, I've heard reports of people like they couldn't like one or two friends are left. They couldn't actually like have a
Mm,
complete group anyway. So
yeah. Next Blizzard note. Blizzard has relented on the WoW Classic overpriced cloning fees. Obviously, when we said this, you thought it was quite expensive how much it was going to cost to duplicate characters across to WoW Classic if you
I still
also
think this is
wanted
expensive,
them.
by the way.
Yeah,
But okay.
also one of them on WoW Classic and then wanted them to move on to the burnt crusade as
Yeah.
well. So it's gone from $35 to $15, and I've just written down here the door in the face technique is a compliance method commonly studied in social philosophy. The persuader attempts to convince the respondent to comply by making a large request that his respondent will most likely turn down, much like a metaphorical slamming of the door in the persuader's face. The respondent is much more likely to agree to a second, more reasonable request than if the same request is made in isolation. So, if you make something really expensive, people complain, and then you lower the price, they may actually be okay with that price rather than you just putting it straight at like
Well,
medium price and then them complaining.
yeah. I'm still saying it's too expensive. I don't. Yeah. $15,
I meant
$15
I
dues.
meant to pull up the Wikipedia page for Door in the Face technique, but I accidentally pulled an image of Bobby Kotick diving into a pool of money.
Oh no!
Activision CEO. I don't know how that got there.
Are you sure this isn't the Wikipedia page for it, actually?
Yeah. Well, all I'm saying is, if they did in fact use the Door in the Face technique, this is an EA level tactic. They literally admitted to doing
No,
this.
Activision's the new EA, so
EA literally admitted to doing this with Battlefront Beta where they made
Yep.
they made the loot boxes really bad. So then when people complained, they were like, okay, we'll kind of scale it back a bit. So then people were like, yes, they changed it, they did something. When they were like, we were just going to make it this medium ground anyway in the first place, but you thought you won by forcing us to change it to this medium ground, that you were okay with these horrible changes anyway. So
So this is why I like taking things in absolutes instead of like relatives to each other. Like
mm,
I'm still looking at this and go, but $15 for that simple service seems ridiculous to me. Still,
yeah.
it's
So
absolutely insane.
Blizzard's like character
And your
services.
still subscription fee.
Blizzard's character service has always been ridiculously expensive, so it
Yeah.
doesn't seem like they're going to change this anytime soon.
No.
Speaking of Activision being dead, former Epic and Blizzard veterans have joined forces to create Lightforge games. I believe we maybe talked about this before, but it's actually Dreamhaven, the Mike Mornheim company from Blizzard, is also a publisher and an umbrella studio. So
Oh, okay, right.
yeah,
Nice. The new Blizzard.
they recently raised 5 million with investments from Galaxy Interactive, NetEase Games, Dreamhaven, of course, the Mike Monheim, and Mavron One Up Ventures, and angel investors from gaming and tech industry. So
Yeah, classic
there
angel
are new
investments.
games being made by the talented developers from Blizzard in outside studios. If you're like, man, I really loved Blizzard's
Have we
games, but they've gone to shit with Activision. Yep.
Yeah, have we got any ideas of like what they want to make yet, or we're still kind of locked down and unknown?
No, I think they're still kind of open, sort of thing.
Right. Still figuring it out. Okay.
Just says Lightforge is creating a game in a new space that has a ton of potential.
Yeah.
That's all we know. We're in really early stages of the studio, so I'm sure we're going to get more news at like. Imagine like Lightforge games at BlizzCon.
Wait,
That would never
they've
happen.
got people from BioWare and okay, they've got people from
Epic,
everywhere
Blizzard,
as well.
Riot,
Holy
BioWare,
shit.
ZeniMax Online. Yeah,
That's insane.
yeah. So a little bit of everything. So that's cool to see. Let's move on to PlayStation news. Sony is facing a lawsuit over the PlayStation Store exclusivity. This is not to do with the fact that a game is exclusive to PlayStation. It's to do with the fact that the platform holder stopped allowing third-party stores to sell digital downloads in 2019. The
Oh, right, yes.
PlayStation Store monopoly. Epic versus Apple. Anyone? It seems like PlayStation.
GameStop versus PlayStation.
GameStop. What?
Yep.
Anyway, so it seems like yeah, people are more like, hey, this is a closed system where you don't allow competition. You have kind of a monopoly over this thing. So we'll have to see how this turns out. Obviously, I'll keep you updated when we know more about it, whether this lawsuit actually makes it a bit further than this. But obviously, I think we're going to see more and more companies with closed markets, such as the PlayStation Store, Apple, stuff like that, having
Yeah.
to open up. Like, obviously,
There's not really any laws against it in a very like robust way at the moment, so it's kind of
well,
tricky to know
obviously,
what you can
like
and can't
they're
do.
falling under the monopoly law, but there's no like
Yeah.
specific monopoly laws for like game stores, sort of thing. Like
Well,
the
in America, there's no anti-monopoly law. It's like if you're just being anti-competitive, which is a lot harder to prove than a monopoly, like it is in Europe, where there is anti-monopoly laws.
okay.
So it's all very, yeah, it's a complete mess, really. Like most laws,
Sony
but
is now expecting PS5 shortages to continue into next year. The
yep.
PS5 is the best-selling console that no one has. I swear to God.
Well,
I
but
keep
they've sold so many of those. Lots of people must have it. Just more people want it.
I feel because I feel like everyone's like cause they keep saying the PS5 is like the best-selling console of all time, right? But like
Yeah.
I don't. I keep hearing
DIY Perks has too, Joe. Come on.
I keep hearing that nobody can get their hands on a PS5. Like,
Yeah. It's a demand issue, not a supply
mm.
issue, apparently.
So it seems that guys, the global chip shortage is affecting everyone. It seems. Who would have
Yeah.
guessed?
Yeah.
Have you heard of
I'm
some?
gonna say though, I'm gonna claim though, it's not just a chip shortage. I'm gonna claim it's like a electronic demand is affecting
Have
everyone
you
because
have
like
you
everyone seems to want electronics right now.
have you heard about like the car industry is causing a lot of
Oh
this
yeah,
as
yeah,
well,
yeah,
where
yeah.
the chips you need for like the smart features in the cars just leaving like They've
But
built the
apparently
cars,
that's
but they're like left on the lot 'cause they don't have the
but apparently
computer to go
that's
into them.
half that's their own fault though, because they thought people wouldn't buy cars during the pandemic, so like they didn't like allocate the slots from like TSMC and other manufacturers. And like, oh shit, we're
Yeah,
still
but
selling
obviously
cars.
TSMC doesn't have the slots like for
No,
anyone.
exactly. They didn't order the slots, and like Apple and other people like took up the slots. And it's like, oh, we thought we weren't going to make any more cars, and it's like, oh, but we're still making
Tony,
cars.
speaking of things no one can get, Nvidia news. Nvidia
Right.
news that
Okay.
RTX 3080, 3070, and 3060 Ti's will now release with the low hash rate limiter on them for the Ethereum cryptocurrency mining. What do you think of this?
Uh, yeah. I mean,
Will this
I don't
make
know.
these cards less desirable to miners, or is this just a way for Nvidia to say, hey, we're doing something, gamers?
I don't know. I feel like cryptocurrencies are moving away from um graphics mining anyway.
Proof of
Like it just
work,
seems.
yeah.
Yeah, because just like because like people keep pointing out like so much power is required, and they're like, yeah, it is requiring a lot of power. Like I think people are starting to rethink cryptocurrencies, so I'm hoping
Well, I
they just
remember
naturally
like
move away from graphics cards.
if you don't know about currency, basically it's a thing that goes up and down when Elon Musk makes a tweet. Um,
Yep.
it's Elon Musk has like dumped all of his Bitcoin because he's like, I don't agree with its environmental impact.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Despite his information not being 100% accurate, but yeah, it is
so
more damaging to the environment. Then again, okay, my only issue with that is that compared to some of the agriculture sector or like the transport sector, it's like the actual like servers and like computing is like quite minimal to the like it's nothing, obviously. We
mm,
definitely need to improve it. But in my mind, the tech industry is like one of the easiest things other than manufacturing. It's like one of the easiest things to like convert to like a more eco-friendly renewable
but
form.
before I go,
So
yeah, before I go, I are you like annoyed that if you buy a graphics card now you don't have the option to mine on it Ethereum anymore?
that was my original when we were talking about the what was the first card I was going to do like the 3060 or something,
3060
right?
non TI.
Oh, was that one was doing it?
Yeah.
Okay, but I was like, yeah, I don't like it because like I feel like as much as like I like the idea, like oh, I don't know. I just feel like the market should be free, not like oh, we want these. We're gonna only sell these graphic cards to gamers. I'm like, yeah, I'm a gamer, but I feel like that's a bit unfair to those who want to just buy it. I don't know. I just feel like it should be
Mm. The
just free
problem
and
is
open.
that like miners do create a shortage, but the problem is
Yeah, but
there's still a massive demand. So like
and they're still a valid customer. Not like I don't think we
no
should
no no
demonize
no no no.
miners.
What I'm saying is even if miners stop buying these cards,
There's still a huge
there's
demand.
still a
Yeah,
huge demand. So scalpers are still gonna
yeah.
buy them.
I care. Yeah, I care more about if Nvidia dealt with scalpers more than miners. Like I feel like they're wasting their
Yeah.
time with miners, in my opinion. Like scalpers are a bigger issue. Like make an AI to detect scalping. That'd be much better.
Like I have a vested interest in mining and cryptocurrency crashing because obviously it would increase availability of the cards. But even I'm like, this is kind of a boneheaded move. It just feels
Yeah.
like
I just feel like miners are valid customers and so are gamers. And as much as I prefer to like go lean towards gamers, I feel like everyone deserves it. Like I can't really tell you like what you can and can't do with what you purchase. Whereas scalpers,
yep.
they can just fuck off. Like absolute utter morons, utter pieces of shit. Like I don't even care. Like you are a piece of shit if you do it.
Well,
Like if you don't like it, don't do it.
speaking of these cards that nobody get hands on, technology that only people who have their hands on these cards can do.
Yeah.
No Man's Sky DLS support. We've got brand new DLSS titles, so this is pretty big.
Oh, is this the news from earlier you wanted to bundle with the
We'll
trailers?
talk about this in a bit, yeah. So No Man's there's something else at the
Oh, okay.
No Man's Sky, Into the Radius and Wrench are three titles. I think No Man's Sky has a VR mode, and Into the Radius and Wrench also have VR modes or might be full VR games. But I think they're the first VR games to be added to DLSS. And
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
when I talked about DLSS, I was saying when you put on a VR headset, you need to pack a massive amount of frames into a like a
Yep.
4K to 5K display
Yep.
on your face, and it's really intensive on your
High
graphics
refresh
card.
rate.
Yeah, so I'm
Yep.
like DLSS is really important for VR. So like it's
Yeah.
cool that we're finally seeing this come to fruition of VR titles earning DLSS support, and like
Yeah, this is really cool.
they even put out like numbers of a No Man's Sky VR running
This
better.
there's a top comment here. Me watching this on a 720p display.
Incredible,
Incredible.
incredible. Yeah, because if you don't know, most VR headsets you need like a minimum of 90 frames per second to reach the
Yes.
90 hertz refresh rate. You want to be run. Most headsets now go up to 120. The index goes up to 144 experimental mode, and then most headsets these days are 4K. I think the lowest resolution headset I could say is maybe in use is like I have the original Vive, which is 2K, and that's still like
Right.
still quite like a lot, quite a high demand to run stuff at 2K. So,
Yeah, yeah,
but
I can
like
try and run stuff at
in
2K. It's been a big problem.
index, 4K. Oculus Quest 2,
Mm-hmm.
4K. Um,
Yeah.
Vive Pro 2 is coming out 4K. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, oh no, I think Vive Pro 2 is 5K. So
Oh God. Okay. Good luck.
next up, so along with these new DLSS titles specifically for VR, a medieval RTX DLSS is getting added. So there is now a medieval DLSS 2.0 and RTX being added to the game. So
Interesting.
I wanted to say to people, hey, pick this game up because it's on sale because it's got this stuff added to it, but the sale is no longer active since when the podcast was supposed to. So
Yeah.
I can't say that, but I did pick this up. So I'm really interested to play this. As I've said before, New Blood is the cool publisher that I'm in. It's my most watched new publisher, New Blood Interactive,
Oh really? Okay. Right.
behind Devolver, because it seems like every game that they've published so far has been really interesting, and like their kind of style of doing like the old school boomer shoot sort of thing is pretty cool. I'm excited to play Medieval, and
With the old themes and things.
I'm gonna try playing it with DLS 2.0 and ray tracing because it makes the game look fantastic. Like it just goes to
Yeah.
show, adding like as someone who's played Quake 2 RTX, like just adding ray tracing to games of any like level of detail can
Well,
really
yeah.
add
It
a lot
just
to the game.
lighting. I think is a lot more important than tech. I mean, textures are important as well. I feel like lighting is like above that in
Mm.
my opinion. Like just how good it makes a game.
And DLSS 2.0 is free. 2.0 is free performance, guys. It's so
Yeah, that's
huge.
true. Well, if you own an expensive graphics card, it's free performance.
It's free real estate.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway. The reason I mentioned earlier, but I was like, New Blood is a cool new publisher. I'm a little worried about Devolver Digital. Devolver Digital has been valued at 1.4 billion ahead of its public offering. Devolver Digital is going public, and if you don't understand why I'm a
Right.
little worried about this, guys, is Devolver has been private for the longest time, and what usually
Yeah.
happens is when you get a bunch. Devolver takes a lot of chances. A lot of the stuff Devolver publishes is really weird shit.
Yeah.
So a lot of it's very violent. There's sometimes lots of drug uses like Hotline Miami. They take chances on like games with semi-sexual, like genital jousting is one that they've
Yeah.
done. Whereas even though genital jousting is a game about penises going inside each other, it's more a game about overcoming toxic masculinity,
Hmm.
which is why I'm like, I don't think it really fits the criteria. But basically, what happens is when a company goes public, you get investors, and what
Yeah.
investors want is a return on their investment, a ROI, right? Um, and what investors hate is risks, because when you pick up a risky game and you go, oh, people might not like this,
But
and then they
okay,
don't get their investment back, they're not going to want to do that. They're going to want
this
Devolver to
isn't.
publish very safe games that are definitely going to
Yeah.
make money.
This isn't really a counterpoint, but would you not like say like, oh, but if you're gonna invest into Devolver Digital, you do surely need to know that they take these weird risky things. Like you know what
No,
you're getting into.
no.
No.
I think a lot of
Okay.
because
They don't give a
you're
shit.
thinking about the perspective of someone who's not a big angel investor.
Right, but I
Um,
feel like you should be doing research to things you're investing into
yeah,
instead of
yeah,
just
yeah.
like, oh, big
What
money, more money, it's gonna go up.
but I feel like me and you know a lot about Devolver and how it works, sort of thing. So
Yeah.
we can say obviously it's good to invest in Devolver and know that them taking risks will be fine because they take a lot of their risks pay off, sort of thing. Like,
So you're saying I should buy stocks into Devolver? That's what you're
yeah,
saying.
guys, invest in stonks and Devolver, dude. Like, because like I remember like when they announced Fall Guys and I was explaining Fall Guys to you and like I don't really understand Fall Guys and I was like
Yeah.
that was a risk they took and it just fucking massively paid off. They sold 8.2 million copies. Loop Hero, they took a risk on that. I saw the trailer for that and was like, what the fuck even is this game? That game sold like 500,000 copies in like its first week of the game being out. Like that game is insanely popular as well. So
Okay. I have another. I have a more. I know a more important question, but I have another important question though.
yeah,
Like, so there's like one there like two guys in charge, like the private Devolver Digital originally. Like, what's happening to them? Are like they still being in charge, or this is like is this a way out for them, to
I
kind of like
don't
retire or like stop being in the business? Like, are they still there?
know. Going public doesn't mean like necessarily the
No,
people
no,
in
it
charge
doesn't
are.
necessarily mean it, but that's why I'm asking. That people sometimes go public for, like as a way out of like to like not own the company
Yeah,
anymore. Like it's like a solution to get out.
I think at this point that would be speculative. I personally don't know
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
I don't know who's in charge and involved and what their plans are. So
Okay, okay.
I'd have to
So
look.
we don't know any information about that yet. Okay, that's
We
interesting.
may do, but I don't know it. So
I would assume people will be reporting on it because that's kind of what people like to report on. It's like what the people at the top
okay,
are doing as it goes public.
let's talk about next topic. Tony, write this timestamp. VR news.
Yep,
And as always, if we're talking about VR, we've got to talk about Roblox, guys. So
as usual. Yeah.
the CEO of Roblox has made a statement saying David Baszucki. I don't know if it's pronounced his name, but that's how I'm going to pronounce it. He's saying Roblox on Quest makes perfect sense. That was his statement on Roblox on the Quest. So, guys,
Yeah.
Roblox VR confirmed. Who fucking knows what's going on with Roblox? Didn't Roblox go public as well?
Yeah, I think so. And it's doing really well as well because yeah, it's just a lot of people, a lot of children playing it with wallets connected or with credit cards attached to the account.
Yeah, like I've seen some people. I think it was Linus was looking into Roblox recently,
Yeah,
and he was saying like Roblox doesn't make a lot of sense to people. The more you think about it, it's pretty much like it's almost like a easy to use game dev tool that
yeah.
allows people to make their own tools where basically there is people who pay developers to make Roblox games that can make their own really
Yeah,
popular game
there,
and
yeah,
then
there are actual companies that make games in Roblox to make money.
and then
Yes.
you can and then they pay their employees and then they put like microtransactions in it that people buy with Robux and then
Yes.
Roblox gets a cut of it and then they give money to the developers and they earn profits off
Yep.
this. Like
Yep.
Roblox is insanely popular. It's just like insane to me like how popular it is. It seems like Roblox could be headed on its way to Nintendo Switch and PS5. He said Sony and Nintendo consoles make perfect sense for Roblox as well. So Switch, PlayStation, and Quest, they all make perfect
Mate,
sense for Roblox.
I'm seeing a trend here. I think everything makes sense for Roblox. I think playing it on your fridge, Roblox makes sense. I think we've got a perfect match here.
And also, creators of popular Roblox game Adopt Me have founded their own studio. They've adopted an entire team. Um,
Okay.
so it seems like, yeah, as we talked about before, like the most top played Roblox games, they've announced they're legitimately like game dev teams coming from making Roblox games, sort of thing.
Yeah, it's kind of insane.
So interested to see what they do. So our first VR announcement is Green Hell VR has been announced. We've got an official teaser trailer. No word on whether this will be available for the newish co-op mode or will have crossplay with the people not in VR. You don't know about this because we haven't done Tangerine it, but I've recently been playing Green Hell. Basically, me and my friend Dave, Vietnam Dave, we were big fans of The Forest. I believe we have a Tangerine video in The Forest, and we were like,
I think so. We have, yeah.
and basically we were saying like, we've been interested in playing Green Hell, but basically we wanted to play it together. So we were waiting for it to add like co-op because for the longest time it was only single player. But now it's added co-op, so I've been playing through that with like some other friends as well, and it's been pretty fun. It is very much like the forest in the jungle. They should have just called it the jungle. If, but yeah,
Yeah, I would have called it the jungle.
if you're familiar with the forest, it's similar to the forest but set in the jungle rather than the forest. It does look pretty cool, like the actual motion controlled stuff. But if you don't know, because the reason I make the comparison to the forest again is the forest has a VR mode that's very much like this. So it seems like they're going down that same path of adding
Yeah,
a VR mode to this multiplayer survival game. So obviously we don't really know anything about it. It's a teaser trailer. We don't know, obviously, if it'll be available in co-op mode, if there'll be crossplay. I'm hoping there will. I would love to try this out. I love trying out VR stuff. We have a subsection of a subsection, Tony, of VR. VR
okay,
mods.
okay.
Risk,
VR mods of the VR subset. Okay, right.
Risk of Rain 2 has now got a VR mod that supports 6 depths of field. No, sorry, it's not depth.
Degrees
It's
of freedom.
6 degrees of freedom and full motion control. So
Yeah.
it's like a full VR version of Risk of Rain 2, and it looks really fucking cool. I love Risk of Rain 2. I feel like I vote for it like twice of best game I suck at
Yeah, I
on
think
like
you
the Steam
both. Yeah,
Awards.
I think that's you did something like that.
This looks amazing. I really want to try. I'm gonna try this out, I think. But the only thing that worries me is the movement system in Risk of Rain 2 is in Risk of Rain 2, the movement system goes insane where you get like triple jumps. You can fly across the map. And I feel like playing that in VR is gonna be a bit like interesting.
It's fine. It'll be fine.
I'm assuming there's no teleportation for this, which I'll have to see if my VR legs are strong enough to play a non-teleportation game.
I bet your stomach. That's what I want to know.
Well, yeah, that's for sure. But yeah, that looks cool. Next up we have Red Dead Redemption 2 is now playable in VR. But just remember, guys, not every VR mod is equal. So this
Yes.
this VR mod is made by the same guy who made the creator of the GTA 5 VR mod. But the way the GTA 5 VR mod worked was it doesn't render both screens at the same time. Basically, it gave you an image in each eye, but it alternates between them, one after another, really fast.
Right.
And that's how they got around with putting it into VR.
Kind of hacked it basically.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like motion controls, or it seems like basically you're just watching like a flat screen in first person with a VR headset on, sort of thing, which doesn't look very good because apparently like the way that they're doing this rendering system where they alternate images between eyes, not only does it effectively cut your refresh rate in half, that also can cause like motion sickness because as well as having half like the frame rate basically, it also can make you feel quite sick. So like not having like teleportation, just like using a controller with this or a mouse and keyboard. Yeah, I don't know. This ain't itchy for this mod for me. I'm not
Hmm.
like obviously like also as well, Tony. The way you shoot is you aim with your head. Whoever thought like
No.
adding aim with your head shooting in VR was a good idea? I don't know, because you need to aim by moving the mouse up and down, but moving the mouse up and down to look is how you look around in VR. So in order to trick the game into think you're using a controller or a mouse and keyboard, you have to aim with your head through the VR
Yeah,
headset.
that's a no from me.
I hate movement systems where you move by looking. That feels terrible.
Yeah.
But guys, if you're like a big Rockstar fan and you want to play a good Rockstar VR game. The LA Noire VR game is really good. I've played the whole thing from start to finish. It's 7 handpicked missions, and it just goes to show you the difference between a good VR port versus a VR game slapped onto a 2D game, or a pancake game. There's kind of okay. I gotta explain what pancake game is. There's kind of a snobbery at the moment from VR gamers at the moment where. I think the first time I read about this was on House Flipper VR, where they said like
Right.
when they were talking about the non VR version, they called it the pancake version because they were saying it's flat in comparison to the VR version. Like
Right. Okay.
Because when people
Interesting.
like, but when people compare like non-VR games to VR games, are saying the game looks 2D in comparison to playing it in VR. It's such a different experience. It's like you're a pancake gamer, so that's where I first learnt the term pancake
So
gamer.
first I get called having pancake breasts, and now I'm a pancake gamer. Like, what
Yeah,
was the world come to?
yeah. So yeah, um, not all VR mods are equal. So like, the Risk of Rain one looks really good. The Red Dead Redemption
Yeah.
2 one does not look good
It kind of depends
in my
how
opinion.
moddable or how interactable the actual engine is, like how open it is in a way as well, like what you can like
Mm,
change and access and have access to helps a lot. I seem like GTA and like Red Dead Redemption like really locked down in terms of what you can like interact with as a modder.
yeah. But then we have like another example of um. Oh, so this is just a link to show like the GTA 5 mod like as well. There was like another good VR mod, a native VR mod for GTFO. I think I don't know if I remember if I talked about this. I played at the beta of this game and I didn't get along with it very well. It's a weird like tactical stealth sort of game. It was made from the guys who
Right.
like some of the guys who did the original Payday, and I think the problem was maybe less so like the game itself. I couldn't get into. It was like more the people I was playing with. Like one of my friends was just like completely wasted drunk and just kept running in and alerting all the enemies immediately when I was playing it. So
Right.
maybe that changed my experience of the game. But this is another like great VR port where you can see from the video native VR control, native VR port, six degrees of freedom, motion controls. These are the things you need for a good VR port of a game. So,
Yep. Yep.
and it seems like the mod creator has been doing updates for it. There was a recent update. I saw someone playing this. I think it was Soda Poppin played this on Twitch. I watched his stream. It looked pretty cool. So there's crossplay between VR players and non-VR players. I don't actually know if there is crossplay on the Risk of Rain 2 VR mod. Let me see if I can find out any information about that quickly. Um, Somebody said join on this video. It says join the flat screen to VR modding community. So that's another term.
Right. Okay.
2D pancake flat screen. Um,
Well, surely you got two flat screens attached to your eyeballs in VR. That's what I'm gonna say.
oh, you can play it on a Vive. Okay, seems like I was just looking up the mod. Oh, the first FAQ is: wouldn't it be nauseating to play in Risk of Rain in VR? Each version has different
Yep.
levels of tolerance regarding motion sickness in VR. Despite that, Risk of Rain 2 was not intended to be played in VR. Obviously, this means that getting motion sick is more likely, especially with high mobility characters such as the loader or the mercenary. We plan to make the VR experience better for players in the future, and feedback regarding this issue would very much be appreciated.
Fair enough.
Your hands will only appear once you start the game. The menus don't use any motion controls at the moment. The mod is only required for VR players. You can play with vanilla players just fine too while using this mod. Awesome, guys. So, that's something. If you're going to make a VR mod, make it so I can play with people not playing in VR. There are so many games that I love playing because I can play with friends who don't VR. Nobody has graphic cards. Nobody has
Yeah. It.
Nobody has $300 to $1,000 VR systems. Like
Yeah.
so,
All the
always
space,
yeah.
all the room to put it in.
Some other examples that I can think of off the top of my head of good VR mods are the Doom 3 VR mod and the Mother VR Alien Isolation mod is another great example of a VR mod.
Right. Okay.
So we'll just quickly. Oculus version 29. You remember AirLink was being added where you could. Basically, it was Oculus's version of Virtual Desktop. If
Yeah.
you don't know, I think Virtual Desktop was capped to 90 hertz refresh rate that was added to the Oculus Quest in an update. They since added 120 hertz. Now, if you stream through Oculus Link, you can now stream wirelessly to your Oculus Quest headset from your PC at 120 hertz refresh rate. Like, at this point, I feel like it's hard not to say to someone who's interested in VR, get an Oculus Quest 2. It just seems like the best VR experience you can get right now. Um,
Yeah, it seems, yeah,
that
to
being
be fair,
said, there are
very
some
competitive.
there's some other stuff coming out to tempt you if you want to wait. So let's talk about that. So
I have time to wait.
let's talk about PlayStation VR leaked specs. So the PSVR 2 has had some of its specs leaked. So the resolution is going to be 4K, 4000 times 2040. This is all leaked information. So these are rumors, speculation. So this may change or not be accurate. So it'll basically be 4K resolution at 2000 times 2040 per eye. That's slightly more than what the Quest 2 is. The Quest 2 is pretty much 4K sort of thing. There will be a dial for lens adjustment, gaze tracking, and a motor within the headset itself that might be used for haptic feedback. It seems like, based on these leaks, it won't be wireless, so it'll be another wired headset. Um,
Was there a previous leak that said it wouldn't be wireless as well? Like I thought this is the second time we've heard that.
Maybe, yeah. So the headset will connect to the PS5 using a single cord, similar to how like the Oculus Link connects the Quest to the PC. But that is a big improvement actually because that is far less complicated than the setup that you had to do to connect the current PSVR to the PS4 and the PS4
Mm-hmm.
Pro. So that's
Yeah.
cool. I believe we said it might be a USB-C connection, because that has the bandwidth to carry power, display, a lot of like it can carry a lot of like information. Its only limitations is it can be a quite short distance on it, but I don't think it'll be long enough that you'll
I think
need a cable that long.
the other limitation I think is your imagination as well, but
Yeah, true. So the PSVR one's launch price was $500, so maybe the PSVR will launch somewhere around that. If it launched around the $500 mark, I believe that's competitive with the Quest 2. Let me convert those freedom units.
yeah, freedom unit transfer conversion. That's what I'm trying to say.
So let's have a look. The Oculus Quest 2 is like $300 to $400 for the bigger version, so it seems like if it launched at $500, it would not be that competitive with the Quest 2. So we'll have to see if they budge on the price of the original PSVR. Obviously, we don't know the price of the PSVR. We don't even know the specs yet. Obviously, I think we're going to learn everything we need to know about the PSVR at E3, PlayStation's conference. So I have to see that. The other VR headset that could tempt you before we end the podcast is the Vive Pro 2 was announced. They've been Vive's just been teasing a headset for like the past like year, I feel like.
Yeah, they have. I think longer than that, right? Like I swear
Mm.
they've just been just teasing new stuff and going.
So
Actually, that's just concept. We're not making that.
we talked about it before. The Vive Pro 2 will be 5K resolution or 2448 resolution per eye. There'll be 120 hertz refresh, so again that higher tier of refresh rates that we're seeing on the Quest 2 and the Index run at, and of course the experimental 144 with the Index. It's going to be using DisplayPort 1.2. It's going to have 120 FOV, so it's going to be wide display. I think that's slightly bigger FOV than the Index, which has like one of the widest FOVs, I believe, of the
Right.
headsets.
Okay.
So, it works with Index or Vive Pro controllers and the base stations from Steam Tracking 2.0. So, either the Vive Pro tracking stations or the Index Steam Lighthouse 2. I can't believe that they've released a headset in fucking 2021 and my Vive controllers from like 2016 are still the current design. for like the controllers. Just seems insane to me that they're still
Yeah,
using the Vive ones. Where
it does seem. Yeah, they need to update those.
I don't know. I like the Vive ones. I think they're cool. It's just like a lot of games. I'm like when I'm playing in VR, I'm like, man, I wish I had a physical joystick for this game. And like
Yeah.
all of the controllers now, like the Quest, I believe has a joystick. The Index has a joystick. Like all of the big VR players right now are adding joysticks to their things rather than relying on the haptic feedback like touch Steam controller control things that the Vive controllers have.
Yeah.
So if you already own the lighthouses and the controllers, so if you have a Vive, I don't think it works with the original Vive. I think you have to have the Vive Pro ones. So you'd need to have the at least the lighthouses, I believe. So if you have the Vive Pro 2 lighthouses, you can use those. And if you get it without the lighthouses and the controllers, it's $800. I believe that's with $50 off for a pre-order.
Oh, right, okay.
If you don't, if you were like, so say for example, you Tony, you don't have any VR accessories already. If you wanted to buy the headset, the controllers, and
Like the whole setup,
the whole
basically, like
setup,
everything you need. Yeah, yeah.
$1,400.
God, okay.
So if you don't own the accessories that comes with,
That's insane.
which I'm still surprised, it comes with basically the original Vive
So
ones, but in blue.
when you buy the index full package, that comes with everything you need to get going, right? Like it has like the lighthouses, it has
They
the hand, and it has a headset.
the index also has separate tiers of purchase. So you can just buy the headset.
Yeah, yeah, but for
And
me, like I have to go for the 4,000
the £1,000 one, yeah.
Great British pounds. Is it 1,000 British pounds or $1,000? I can't actually remember the
I
pricing of it
believe
anymore.
it's around 700. You can buy it from the Steam store, Tony. If you go on the Steam store,
Yeah, okay.
it's £919.
Yeah, okay, £900. 900 British pounds.
If you were to buy the headset and the controllers, it's £689. If you just wanted to buy the headset on its own, it's £459.
Mm. Mm.
Like for example, for me, I could
Wait.
buy
Oh, I could if I could like pick and choose like if I didn't like the index controllers, I'd be like, right, I don't want those, so I'll buy the individual
Vive ones or
components.
like for
Yeah.
me here, I believe I could purchase. The only thing that I could use here is the Valve Index controllers. If I wanted to just
Right.
buy the Index controllers, I
Yeah.
could use those with my original Vive. But if I wanted to use
Okay.
the brand new base stations and the brand new headset, I would need to upgrade some other part of the original Vive system, sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, let's talk a bit more about like kind of the pros and cons sort of thing, because it seems like they're also doing like because they also announced. So obviously it's a wired headset. People were like the Quest 2 is like a wireless standalone headset sort of thing. So it seems like they had focused this, but like Vive also has their Vive Focus series where they just announced the Vive Focus 3, which is a standalone headset, which has like more like Oculus Windows Mixed Reality, like those weird hoop controllers with physical buttons and like a
Yeah.
joystick. But
Yeah.
this is not a consumer product. This is basically for businesses to use to like develop and run VR. This is an enterprise level technology, whereas like the Vive Pro 2 is more of a consumer product.
Yeah, I would say so.
Hmm. So like the pre-order if you just wanted the headset would be £719 in Great British pounds,
Yeah, okay.
which is obviously still way more expensive than buying a Quest 2 for like
Oh
£300.
yeah, yeah, for sure. But that's yeah, I feel like yeah, that's just the one to be at this point. So
But they also announced the big thing that the Vive does that nobody else does is they have the Vive trackers, and they've just announced the Vive trackers 3.0, so they have more battery life and they're even smaller because lots of people put these on their legs and dance around in VR chat. That's the lifestyle that a lot of people choose. So
yeah, it's a way of life. It's not just a
because I
lifestyle.
think they're compatible with other. headsets. Like I think you can use these with the Index. I'm not sure about the.
Yeah, I thought the lighthouse itself is the one that picked it up, so it just like told it like where it was. I thought what it had problems with was like inside out only tracking, like it couldn't interface with that.
But they've also got the new Vive facial tracker. That's
Right.
I feel like Vive just makes like really niche things that are ridiculously expensive. Because this facial,
Yeah,
basically,
yeah.
it just like straps a like camera to your face that just looks at how you talk, and then it'll check. This is another VR chat thing that's super expensive. Basically, that I feel like
Yeah. Or like a
for what it
yeah,
is,
I mean
it looks like it performs well. Like if you need your VR avatar to have very what's the word?
emote with your face.
No, very accurate expressions. Looks cool.
Right. Okay.
Feels like developers are going to buy this again. Like it's more, maybe more of like an enterprise thing where developers might buy this
Well,
and then use it to develop other software.
like VTubers and things and like
Yeah, VTubers are a big thing that's popping up that I'm a
yeah.
boomer about.
I don't know how big that market is, but you get some money from that.
So, let me. Sorry, I'm just trying to look up their. Is there a way to just look up their lighthouses so I can compare? Because basically, I think the main difference between the OG lighthouses and the Vive Pro lighthouses and the Index lighthouses is that the Index ones and the Vive Pro ones just have a way bigger field of view. I'll show you a photo. Steam VR Base Station 2.0. Here we go. So if you look at like this image, like the lighthouses have a way bigger field of view, which helps when you just have a few of them, and it can cover more area. And I think the Index lighthouses are basically very similar to this.
Right. Okay. Hmm.
Where
Yeah,
they're
I'm not
like,
sure. Like, I feel like I'd want to. I don't know. I have to look at this properly, but I feel like I have to figure out
because
what
like
I'd want
the
to mix and match.
yeah, because like this is like the original Vive ones that I have. They're just like a square front face, whereas
Yeah,
the improved ones are more like
those ones I've seen
s-
before, right? Like, those ones I would have,
yeah.
I would have seen. Yeah. Okay.
Whereas the Vive the Steam VR Base Station 2.0 and the Index base stations are more like bigger FOV basically, so they can see more from the
Yeah.
position.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they're more accurate as well, aren't they? Like, I thought they were able to not lose stuff as easily.
the big things about the Vive Pro 2 is it gives you the option to have um, basically near zero latency wireless. The big thing Vive does is they have the wireless adapter.
Okay.
So you can have the Vive wireless adapter. So if you're someone who's experienced wireless VR and you do not have a strong, like a 5 gigahertz plus, very strong router, and also have very strong wireless in your house, the virtual desktop streaming or the AirLink app might not be a very good experience for you. Might have very high latency if you're trying to do
Yeah.
that. But you're
I'd
someone
rather like a direct link between PC and the
if
headset.
you're someone who like really needs or someone who like someone who wants that wireless experience, like the Vive is an option for that true wireless experience of zero latency. Like the Vive Pro 2 is really fucking expensive, especially considering like getting a Vive wireless adapter is going to be fucking expensive. It's like £359 for the adapter.
Yeah, it's pretty expensive.
But that does allow you to have near zero latency wireless streaming. So let's talk
Yeah, it
about
might be worth it for that, I guess.
because I know like I think
I
Lance did
don't
a
know.
video recently where basically his setup he had the Vive wireless tracker on the Vive headset because that was like his zero compromises best VR
Yeah,
experience was to have.
I'm just trying to think if I care about the cable or not. Like I'm trying. I'd have to use it again to like
Well,
decide. But
as someone who's never used a wireless VR headset, I can say the wire's not a huge thing to me, but I've never
yeah,
not used a wire.
I remember being slightly annoying, but not like insurmountable. Like I could get used to it and just like
It's like
deal with it.
the best way I
I guess it's
describe
kind of like a wireless mouse to like a wired mouse, I guess.
the best way I could describe having a the cable there or the tether is it's kind of like having a tail. Um, at first, you
But
keep walking over it, and it
yeah,
always gets in the way. But eventually, if you have a tail, you just get used to it, and
but
you don't like notice it anymore.
what if I want to feel like a ball queen though? Like I'm just saying, like maybe it's a cool factor to have the cable. Like
Okay.
maybe it makes it feel like you're in the Matrix. That's what I'm feeling.
Okay. So there's just obviously this is way out of the price point for the Quest 2. There is no point comparing this to the
Yeah.
Quest 2. Like they're in different leagues of price. So obviously, if you're looking for a budget headset, get a Quest 2.
Yep. But this is
So
like more of the top of the line. It's like more, yeah, this is more like comparable to an
this is more
index, really. Like
comparable
it's
to an
trying to go
index.
for
So
the best
let's
of the
talk about what you're
best.
getting. So for $300, what you're gaining is because you're paying like around 300 to 250 more dollars
Okay,
for the
okay.
headset compared to the index. What you're getting over the index is you're getting 1,000 more pixels in each eye because it's 5K resolution
Yeah,
compared to 4K.
which is a
Um,
big deal.
you get wireless capabilities. Um, Even though it's 120 hertz um, headset, the wireless adapter at the moment is capped to 90 hertz. I don't know
Okay,
if
okay.
that's a hardware limitation or a software limitation. They might be able to patch that.
Yeah, interesting.
I believe the way the Vive wireless adapter works is basically you put the thing on your headset and then you put like basically an add-on card into your PC is kind of like how it works.
Yeah, I thought it was like a thing with the cable you like kind of move it around to like get the optimal viewing
Mm.
angle to you. I thought is what it did, and it's like
Oh,
like a 5 gigahertz link.
another good thing that Vive does over like other companies, I think like the Vive Deluxe strap. Like lots of people like they make like a very comfortable head strap because like lots of people have made like
Right.
Frankenquests where they take like the deluxe audio strap, which basically adds like over ear speakers and a very comfortable like headset band, and then um, you can get that for like the Vive, or if you have like a Quest 2, people have made like kits where you can add the Vive Deluxe audio strap to the
Yeah.
um, Quest 2 sort of thing. So they do like obviously like the over ear technology. I think the index is going to have better. So you're going to lose 24 hertz because you're losing it's 120 hertz, so you're losing the ability to go to 144 hertz. You're going to lose a little bit of FOV compared to the Vive Pro 2. Um, or the Vive Pro 2, you're going to lose a little bit of FOV vertically compared to the Index. So I think
Yeah.
the Index just has the massive FOV. And obviously, the Index speakers are from what I've heard, the Index speakers are the best VR speakers you can get, pretty much.
Yeah, yeah,
So what do you think, Tony? $300 to
yeah.
$250, 1,000 pixels in each eye, 5K resolution,
I'm still leaning towards
wireless
the index.
wireless capabilities versus
Yeah.
24 hertz experimental mode, less FOV
Oh,
and not as good speakers potentially.
so wait, if it's with the wireless capabilities, does it have it has inbuilt batteries then?
So the wireless adapter, I believe, lasts for about
Comes.
two to 3 hours.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think I would have to like really look into that, weigh up what I actually care about.
Mm.
I don't know. I'm still leaning towards the index though.
Mm. The problem is, Tony, you can't get an index,
No, that is true.
and it seems
You
like,
can't get anything though.
but specifically when you could get things, no one can get an index.
Yeah, yeah,
Valve
that's
massively
fair.
underestimated how many people would want an index to a point where they didn't Like they did basically what you were saying with the car manufacturers, where they were like,
Yes,
nobody's
they
gonna
didn't
want an
book
index.
enough.
We don't
Yep.
think this is gonna be a big thing, and then they did not. No one can get an index basically. So I think the idea is that they are going to, instead of like massively restocking the index, I think their focuses now are more on a new index headset. I think it's
Yeah. A
when
cheaper Index 2 or something.
no, I don't
You
think
think
they.
they're getting more expensive, do you think?
I think it's going to be similar price, but I think it's going to have
Right,
different.
okay.
I think it's going to have different features. I think
So
it's going.
you think Valve are going like top of the tops and like that they're gonna just like push the technology at the top?
Valve always want to make the best software at any cost, sort of thing. They don't
Okay,
like.
fair enough.
They're not going to make Facebook level compromises to make the product more
Right.
affordable. They're
They would rather other people do that for
they
them.
would rather just push the technology forward and make the best product they can make, no matter the cost, sort of thing.
Okay, right.
That's like the Apple way. They make
Yeah.
they try and make very like
It it's
pick,
respectable, I think, because that's kind of how I like to buy things. Like I try and like buy a more expensive thing for longer than lots of the cheaper things.
was like index release. When did the index even come out? Let's have a look. So
It's
it came
20
out
end of
June
2019.
June 20. So it's been almost 2
Oh,
years
June.
since the index
Yeah.
came out. So
Yep.
I I I doubt they'll announce a new index at E3. I doubt they'll announce an index this year because of the shortages. I think
Yeah.
we should be doing a new index. Maybe depending on supply issues. I would say I would look more towards 2022, 2023, but that's just
Yeah. We
speculation.
might. I reckon we might hear something like Christmas sort of time this year, and then like we might be getting like a new one summer 22. That's kind of my speculation.
Yeah. Anyway.
It's my guess anyway, and it is a guess.
Anyway, that's the end of the podcast.
We ended on VR.
I had so much to talk
It's
about
not.
VR. I was like, I gotta make
There's a
it the
lot
main
of VR
topic.
news.
And there's more news coming. Guys, there's stuff that's been announced.
Stay tuned.
And I was like, I want to talk about it, but I'm gonna have to save it for the next podcast because we've already gone over the 2 hour mark. Don't
Yep.
worry, I've seen like the news that's coming out. We will be talking about it next time. So if I missed anything, and you're like, why didn't you talk about this? Talk about it next time, and everything in between podcast on YouTube.
Oh shit.
Check us out, twitch.tv/Scorn if you want to watch live, and at Scorn2000 on Twitter if you want to follow me on Twitter for some reason. I always forget to post there. So that's the end of the podcast. Goodbye.
Bye.